Teachers, and you're listening to Show X Live with Ken in his student accommodation all the way in Scotland, and Wayne in his white windowless van? Uh-oh, I better get out of here. Enjoy the show!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Show X today on VTWProductions.com. How is everyone going on out there today? And especially a good welcome to my friend Ken. Ken, how you doing?
Hello, good sir. I am good. And this is a friendly reminder to everybody join the video all to mute themselves before I have to do it myself, Mr. Hando. Jeez.
You would think someone like Hando would be used to that by now.
I know. It's because I do it for him every week. The spoiled man.
So it's more like you're used to it by now.
Yes, I'm like, But yeah, I'm good. How about you, sir? How are you doing?
I'm doing mostly well, recovering, trying to figure out where I am with life and stuff at the moment. But
that sounds very
good.
philosophical.
I wish it were more so. It's more just me catching up like, what have I been doing with myself today? So, for everybody out there, you are listening at 2 p.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. GMT on Sunday, the 29th of June, 2014. And welcome to final summer sales day of both Steam and good old gaming and all of the various digital distribution that is out there for us all to partake in. If you are not, you should be. Just saying. Alright, so we are going to kick things off right away with a little bit of
dysfunctional deviations.
And in our dysfunctional deviations this week, Ken, what have you been up to?
Well, right now I'm in the video wall where everybody else should be to hang out with me, because right now it's me and Hando. And as much as I love Hando, you know, we need some more company in here, guys. Come show some support, show some love for the show. Also, you know how we stream this to YouTube and stuff, and there's all this fancy video stuff going on these days, because we're all futuristic? Well, in Skype usually I can't really see what's going on in the IRC because it's like horrible quality, but today it's like beautiful HD. What's going on? What's going on?
Oh, I cut out some other things this time to try to make it so I could clean it up. Essentially, the software we use to multicast, it gets mad at me if I have too many stream things ready to go, and so where I can like flip it over really quickly to see what's going on my main screen if I want to show things, or flip it over back and forth between just my view, or the view with the IRC, or the view with the splash page for VTW. And so I can handle, or it lets you have up to like 6 speeds set up. And when I have any more, it starts rendering all those other feeds, even though I don't need to. So I kind of preview it. And it's funny because even though I have plenty of memory on my computer, and I never see it peeking out on my CPU or anything, even though Minicam does take up quite a bit, it's using the majority of my all my CPU and memory right now, even more so than like SAM or anything, I think. Let's see. Yeah, it's using the most. That it's kind of like, I wish it was more efficient, essentially, because then I think the video stream and everything would be so much cleaner, because when I do just my video or something, I look great. But when I do all the show stuff, it freaks out a bit. I don't know
man,
how
it's
to do
because when I'm in the video with you, I just pull the quality right down, you know? I'm just not as handsome. I'm just not as handsome a guy. I don't have a fro going, that's what it is.
Yeah, it is you going with that boyish cut that you have now, where you're so much more trimmed up and young looking. I don't know.
It's the cheap look. It means I don't have to get my hair cut so often.
No. So it's funny because that's exactly what I would used to do whenever I had my hair, where I'd go buzz
really?
and then for like 6 months.
Hair. That'd be crazy.
What do you mean you can't imagine me with short hair? I've had it for years. People just forget. You know, people forget. Well, it's something even that when I'd go to work like that, I would just go and I'd just cut it off all, and then I'd go about 6 months, let it grow out, and then I'd cut it again. And that was just my normal cycle.
Get surprised.
Well, and yeah, and it was great because every time I would go and cut my hair, I'd go into work and people see me sitting at the desk or walking in like I knew what I was doing, and that was like, who's the new guy? What's going on with that? Because whenever I would shave my hair, I'd also shave the goatee and all my facial hair as well. And so I dropped like at least 10 or 15 years of how old I look. And people were always like, who's this kid?
I'm stalking your Facebook and...
Oh, you're trying to find old pictures?
You look like your brother, man.
What? How could I look like someone else that's related to me in any way? I don't understand.
I know, it's crazy. Look at you, you're all neat cut and stuff, and you're with some guy with a massive tash. That's cool.
Not sure which one that is off the top of my head, but yeah.
It's in Las Vegas. But anyway, I'll stop stalking you more than usual.
Oh, that's
So
funny.
where did we get that anyway? I was
We're-
talking about the video wall. Yes, so
Yeah,
so
you're
go
talking
join us
about
on
the video wall, and everyone else get on the video wall. And if you
yeah.
would like to join in with the show at vtwproductions.com on us on Show X, go to the main page, and some options you have is you can join everyone by seeing everyone else who likes to participate in the show, at least 10 of us at a time. Not me today because my laptop is still sitting in a bag over there since I was asked to bring things out to a party yesterday, which I'll get to later. But get in there, jump on the front page, and you'll see a link at the top that says Video Wall. You click on that, have a Google Plus account, and you'll be able to join in the Google Hangout with all the rest of the fans at for Show X. And then the other option you have, Ken, how can people talk to us live on the show?
They can talk to us in a variety of ways, including the IRC, which they can access via the website going to, as you said before, vtwproductions.com, and from there they can go to the top, and up there are links, because it's a new shiny page that always confuses me. They click on chat, and they'll find their way in there with all the instructions and such. Or they can email on the show, showx@vtwproductions.com. Or they can tweet us as well, although we don't tend to look at our Twitter too much, so we might respond next week or something.
Oh, that's right.
Emails are the best way
tweet
to go.
out that the
Emails.
show's going.
Yeah, that's what we use it for, really. But we can. Okay. So. Get in the video wall and hang out is cool. What have I been up to? So I was on Hodilay Monday and Tuesday. I always call it Hodilay
Wait,
in the show notes.
so
you
is
may
this-
think I'm dyslexic.
Is
but
this
no.
the bank holiday thing that always happens or something that I hear about?
No, this is apparently for some reason in January I thought, because we have to always book our holidays early, so I thought,
Okay.
I'll give myself 2 days randomly here and I'll appreciate that. And you know what? Future Ken does appreciate that, past Ken. Thank you.
Nice.
So I'm very good to myself that way, apparently. So I had a Hodilay. I always called them Hodilay because when I was a child, I apparently called them Hodilays. Because, I don't know, I must have been like minorly dyslexic or something. And it was funny, my parents used to always call it Hodilay since then, so I still do. My Hodilays were on Monday and Tuesday, which is good. So I didn't really do much. I played games. I played a lot of Tomb Raider, which I'll discuss later, and I actually forgot to mention in the notes, but I'll put that there right now, totally professionally. And I did nothing else really this week other than I played some golf for the first time
Oh, look
ever.
at what? Wait, for the first time ever?
Yeah, I know.
But-
I had to become more
But aren't you
Scottish, apparently.
Scottish? I mean, that's
Yeah.
like, didn't you guys like claim to invent that sport, knocking little
Just because
like,
one,
rocks
yeah,
and
but
stuff
that's like
around
saying
with
an
sticks?
American. That's like saying an American created like deep fried butter, and therefore if you don't have it for breakfast, you're not American.
Yeah, America.
uh,
Are you kidding? That's what we do for
Uh-huh.
breakfast. You take a stick of butter,
horrible.
you wrap it up with like bacon bits and you know like other large substances, and you fry it, and then you just kind of just slurp it all down
Yeah.
for breakfast. That's how we start
Oh,
our
that's
day.
horrible. Don't even
What?
say that. That's
It's
just
no
so
worse
bad.
than like having or what is it, like sheep intestines filled with various substances.
Yes,
What are
it
you
is.
talking about?
Like, that's just normal. That's just normal. That's just tasty and healthy and normal.
I don't know about
What's wrong
normal.
with
That's anyhow.
For the few million people here, yes, it is. So I played golf for the first time. We did crazy golf last week at work, and now I did normal golf, and it was cool. It was a free lesson, so I went along, and you have to pay like £5 for like 50 balls to pot. But it's not actual golf. It's like you sit at the
At the driving range,
just
so you can
one-
learn to swing.
Yeah, I can't remember
Yes.
the name of it. But yeah, it's a driving range. So you stay at the same place, and you're trying to hit different bits.
You're really
And so the guy
sounding
gives lessons.
Scottish right now, okay? I've never heard of it.
Golf.
Something where you hit balls. I don't know. It's nice and green out.
I was trying to kick it. I don't know. So we got our clubs. I think that's what they're called, or something, or cues. I don't know. And we got them. And, we were actually handed it for free, which was really cool because I was expecting to just be like have to hand it back at the end of the lesson and stuff. So I only went for one lesson for free. Paid £5 to hire some balls.
Yes.
No laugh. Wait for the laugh. Okay. And they handed us a free bat thing. So I got my own new.
A free bat thing? Wait, were you playing cricket or were you playing golf?
Maybe. So and now it actually looks like I actually do some sport. You can't actually see it from there, but it's back there.
I see
It
the
looks
guitar.
like I do something sporty and not just play games all the time, so that's good. That's cool. But I'm not going back for future lessons because while that was okay, I don't know. I didn't think it was worth spending my whole night on. Like 4 hours going there and back and traveling and doing it. It was fun, but just not worth all the effort. So I enjoyed that for the one time ever. We had 50 balls to play with.
Okay.
And So what you do is you put up with a little T thing and then you kick it off. Well, you don't kick it. I learned that way. You're supposed to use the bat thing. So you use the bat thing and you hit it, and then you're supposed to hit it somewhere particular. And first time I put like a mirror in front of me and it fell down this hole, and I was like, oh, that was pathetic. Then the second time I got a hole in one. So everybody was like, wow, are you secretly really good? Do you play this? You played before? I was like, no, definitely not. I proceeded to show them how bad I actually was by missing forever. So that was fun. I enjoyed that. I then went to Stirling this weekend, my old town of uni. And if you may remember, that's where all the bad internets were. And that's what my weekend was based around, bad internet. So I decided to go and help my parents out with the house that they own down about there. The house that I used to live at uni with. And I said, because they're my parents, I wanted to go help out and just do a bit of housework for them. So we did some gardening and stuff on Saturday, and Diggy let me stay at his this weekend, which was cool.
Oh, hey, cool.
So
you got to hang out with
hung
Diggy.
out, and I thought, yeah, Diggy's cool. So I thought we'd play some games and stuff, and so that was cool. So for Friday night, he was off to some other party, and I decided to meet up with some old uni friends. So I've had like 20 people out from our class. And I said, hey, it's going to be great. We can all meet up. It's been exactly 1 year since we graduated. This is awesome. We can have a real anniversary kind of thing. Go out, and 2 people show up. As oft happens. I mean, I arranged it weeks ago. But
you felt popular. I understand.
Yeah. So, I had a quiet couple of drinks with these guys and had some fun, then just went home. Then Saturday came around, I spent the whole day painting a wall outside, and then it started raining and the paint all went everywhere. So that went well, and then Saturday night we decided to have a bunch of games of LOL, me and Diggy. And we sat down, we started getting ready, and I brought everything with me. I made sure I didn't forget everything, because last time Dig was here, he forgot his mouse, which makes it very difficult to play LOL. So I was like, okay, we can do this. I've got LOL installed, no problem, let's go, turn it on, go on the Wi-Fi, and it's like, oh, we need to do an update, bro. I was like, no problem, you can update, no problem. Usually that takes like 3 seconds for me. That's not a problem with my 120 meg down internet. An hour and a half later...
since you weren't at your normal place, yes.
An error comes up saying, error in writing data or something, LOL needs to restart. So it restarts. Hour and a half later again, it says the same error message, and I think, well that's annoying. I guess I'll just reinstall the whole client. So I delete all data, download the client, tell it to start going, wait about 15 minutes to check the estimated download time, and it says it'll finish with 362 days, 400 hours, and 700 minutes. And I was like, oh.
Nice.
Oh, okay. So I looked into it, and it was downloading at 2 KB per second. So in the end, after waiting for about 5 or 6 hours of trying to play games, we eventually gave up. Diggy had a couple games with his friends, but I just sort of sat there and played a couple games of Hearthstone or whatever. So that was annoying. But at least we had a few drinks, we had a bit of a mandate, and it was good fun. So it was good to hang out.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
so
sad.
I had a weekend of disappointments, really. Friday night, none of my friends showed up. Saturday, it rained after I painted the wall, and all the paint fell off. And then the wall didn't manage to happen on Saturday. But I got home today, and I had a bit of fun on the way home, actually, because it's been Armed Forces weekend this weekend in the UK. I don't know about elsewhere, but it means all the major cities are doing something cool. So in Stirling on Friday and on Saturday they had some parades and stuff, but I didn't really see much of that. They had some fighter jets flying over the city really low, which I didn't know about, and so scared the crap out of me when I saw it. Because you just hear this thunder,
we're
right?
at war! What happened?
I know, it's just like this low booming thunder, and it gets really loud, and then eventually it's just like all-encompassing noise. And I was in a coffee shop at the time reading a book, and yeah, I was just like, holy shit! And then I saw the plane go past. I was like, oh, that makes sense. I know what's happening now. So that wasn't too bad. And today I was walking back from the train station, and in Glasgow, the ex-capital city of Scotland, one of many, actually. And I saw this. I heard this music, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll go see what's going on, because I've got nothing else on today till the show in like 5 hours. So I went over to this concert that was just in the middle of George Square, which is this big open area in the middle of Glasgow. And there was a free concert for the armed forces, and it was this swing band playing. And it was like all these guys in tuxedos, and they had all this brass instruments, and they had the drums, and they had some what else did they have, like just a bunch of cool instruments, and they were playing absolutely brilliantly. It was beautiful music. I'm going to put it on YouTube. I downloaded a few videos. I'll download a few videos onto it, and there was also these dancers called the Cupcakes, There was these 5 ladies in their early 20s, I'm going to guess, doing this awesome swing dancing. And it was just the coolest, random, weirdest thing to see on the way back from the train station. I was expecting a normal walk home, but no, I had to see all this awesome entertainment. So I'll be putting those videos up on my YouTube channel here. And I thought these girls are absolutely awesome. This band's awesome. I'm really enjoying it. So I sent them an email to say, hey, if you're up for it, would you be interested in giving me a quote for a reception? Maybe.
Oh,
so
interesting.
Originally it was going to be a Kaylee, and I haven't talked to the Kitten yet about it. But it's an idea, because we both like swing stuff, so it's just getting a quote at the moment, nothing else, nothing definitive. But I thought it'd be cool to know, because it'd be pretty cool if we had like have these girls doing like their fancy dancing and all that stuff instead, and have a swing-based thing instead. I think people would enjoy that.
Oh, I think that would be fun.
So we'll see.
But I still need to dance, damn it! If I'm coming out there,
you will.
I need to
Don't
dance.
worry. We'll change it suddenly from swing to like hip hop, and it'll be awesome.
Yes.
So I've got something here in my notes.
Okay.
It looks a little racist, but it's not racist because it says those particular Polish people suck.
Okay.
Not all Polish people, just the small number of Polish people that I happen to be familiar with in Stirling suck. Because my parents own this house. And throughout uni, me and a few of my friends, Diggy being one of them, lived in this house for a couple of years and paid rent to my parents, and it was all fine. They were the landlords, no problem. It was a great time. Very nice of them to let us live there. We move out, and they still need to have people living there to make money, of course, so this family moves in, these Polish people. No problem, seem like nice guys, they're very, very talkative, no problem. 4 or 5 months down the line, till about now, they haven't paid rent at all. And due to Scots law, they are protected for several months just to make sure in case they're having financial problems or whatever. If you can't make a couple months, no problem. Scots law covers you. So we couldn't do anything about it. And my parents
does
couldn't
Scots
legally
law
get in contact.
pay you?
Not yet. So
It sounds like a crappy law.
Yeah, so finally, we had an agency in the middle called Your Move. They got in touch with the people who lived there, the residents, and said to them, hey, you've got about 3 days left before we can barge down your door. And so those 3 days passed, and the Your Move agency went to the house, looked in through the windows and saw that the people were inside. They took out their keys, and they knocked, they wouldn't let them in, took out their keys, tried to open the door. They had keys in every single door to not let them in. They basically barricaded themselves inside. So they're not paying rent and hid themselves inside. You can see them through the window, like, excuse me, please open up. We're here to talk to you about this illegal thing you're doing.
In the United States, we evict people, meaning you kick them out for not paying your rent, and you can actually get the police to come help you.
Eventually that would happen, but for the first few months, like I said, Scots law covers that. I think it's kind of smart in one way.
Stupid!
I think it's great for the people who, like, maybe something
who want to jack with the system and take advantage of people. We would have so many homeless people that would just take a flat or something for a week or two or a couple months and then say peace, and they would leave your house in ruin. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. Do you have the ability in Scotland to garnish people's wages if they're not paying so that you get the money before they do?
So that's what the story unfolds as we go forward. So finally, the company goes back a couple days later, tries again. The place is empty. All the furniture's gone, everything's gone, they're gone. Everything's gone. And it turns out they just up and left at midnight. Just disappeared. And they still hadn't paid or anything, but thankfully my parents had insurance, so it covered some of it. The insurance doesn't cover obviously all the admin fees, the lawyer fees,
all the other crap you have to deal with.
Yeah, so my parents are still down by a lot of money, you know. It's totally unfair that these assholes did this.
Yes.
What's worse is my dad goes to the gym like every day with this one Polish guy, and his nickname's Tank. And this one, you can see why his name's Tank, by the way. He is a big guy. He is like 3 meters sideways, 10 meters high, shoots lightning from his arse kind of thing. He's a big guy.
So he's William Wallace.
Yes,
reincarnate.
Polish William Wallace. And he was saying, my dad told him the story, and this guy was like, he is putting such a horrible name for Polish people. This is a horrible thing. I'm going to go and kick their ass. And my dad was like, no. We will get our money back if you do that. Don't kill them.
Yes, if you kill them, then we won't be able to lend out to people again.
Yeah, exactly.
Or you can at least do that, make sure it's captured in the news, and that way you can advertise in the future that, well, we have amazing rates on this flat. If you don't pay, you will die. Ooh, that could be an incentive.
I suppose. So that was very shady. But we went to go to inspect the damage today. It wasn't as bad as we expected. When they moved out, they clearly didn't have any regard for the walls when they were moving furniture out. So there was like scratches all in all the walls.
Yes, all the things and dings and terrible stuff you have to figure out and replace, which is
they
why.
Had a large, yeah.
So the other question is, and I don't know if your parents do this, and this is just general questions about rental and the kind of the differences in our societies, but do your parents have where they had to pay like a deposit down ahead of time before they could move in?
Possibly, probably.
Well, because in America, what normally happens when you rent out a place is you have to pay not only the first month's rent ahead of time to even move in, you also tend to have to pay a deposit that has the potential to be refunded or not, kind of deal. And so if they jack up things like that, you take enough money so that as you hold that deposit, you can go basically and redo the entire apartment with the $500-600 or whatever we use to get like things cleaned and walls repaired when people move out, and it makes it so it doesn't cost you anything. I don't know if your parents have done that.
We went into the house after they finally moved out, and yeah, they did have well, I know I did that, so I assume most flats in Scotland do that as well. But
okay.
So we finally went in and we found all this paperwork all over the place, and they had mail delivered. Now we are not legally allowed to open the mail, so we didn't.
No.
We looked at the mail that was already open.
Illegal.
Yep, but it's our house now because they've moved out, and we can't open their mail, but we can open the mail that they've already opened. So we opened the mail that was already open and out, because we can do that. They left it our house now. Legal, completely okay. So I opened up the stuff that was already out, and I looked through it, and they owe something like £8,000 worth of debt to other things.
Oh, jeez.
And the final bit of paper I saw wasn't it said an arrest, and I thought that was from the police. So I was like, whoa, should I be reading this? You know, this looks a bit very shady. Turns out it was an arrest for earnings.
So yes, garnishment, where someone can come in there and say, you owe us so much. Legally, we can take money from you any means possible.
Not quite.
No?
It means that in the UK, they are not allowed to make any money anymore because the guy claimed he had like the cold. Then never went back to work for like a month and a half.
Interesting.
So he stopped earning money. His employer was saying, okay, we paid you for like 3 weeks, so you owe us that money back now.
See, I would ask, but I don't know how your country does this much. We've had our discussions about the difference of immigration and everything, but I was going to say, they sound like what we would normally consider people that don't necessarily have a legal status in our country. And it sounds very similar to people that run into that situation.
The brilliant thing about the EU is that if you are in the EU, or you're an EU country, not all of Europe is in the EU, by the way, only certain countries, all the more.
Yes, you get stuck with the thing where that means they can legally be anywhere they want for the most part.
Yep. So long as you can afford the plane flight, you can go and move to any country within the EU. I could go move to France tomorrow.
That's scary.
It's good and bad. I mean, originally it was the rich countries in Europe. So the Germans, the French, and us could all switch over, whatever, no problem, because we're about the same in terms of economy. You know, we could all go to each other's country.
Wait, now,
money.
didn't Greece get in there?
Yeah, and then Greece fell over in 2005, Ireland, and then Spain, and so on, so on. So that's why there's a big.
Yeah. So what's that advantage to being part of the EU now?
I still think standing together is a brilliant thing. I just think that maybe we should be more careful with these kind of who we let in the country.
I say maybe reevaluate that. Maybe just reevaluate it.
Yeah,
well, it's like all the. I was gonna say it's just like all the Middle Eastern immigration you guys have in your country, right? You're all cool with all that, right?
I genuinely am. I am genuinely all for immigration. I think it's a great thing, and I think every country needs immigration to have workers of all fields. You can have people who are like medical experts coming from India, and you can have like people who are plumbing from elsewhere. I don't know, whatever.
Wait,
so long as they're the best in their field.
Who was it that stabbed those guys? The military guy that you guys had a while back. Those are immigrants, right?
Yep.
They're the ones you let in legally, right?
Yep. So,
people wonder why in the U.S. we actually try to uphold our immigration laws, which are actually some of the easiest in the world, but... Yeah, anyhow, politics. Stop, I will, now.
Yes, so, that's been a bit of a bother, those guys. I mean, like, no problem, like, there's a reason we let these Polish people in the first place, because we were not exactly racist. You can come in, we don't care where you're from, so long as you pay the freaking rent, you know? And they didn't do that, because they're assholes! So, I kept saying, like, I was so wanting to just go in, knock on the door, and just punch the guy in the face. I mean, what a complete asshole. He cost my parents thousands of pounds, and I just wanted to destroy them. We could not. but I'm glad to see that they are screwed over completely. Although apparently they might be going back to Poland now. As would I if I was with thousands of pounds in debt in one country. I'd have to escape somehow or another. So apparently they had a nice 4x4 car, they were buying new tires, they used to buy all these nice things for the kids.
Is this all the stuff you also saw from the open mail? Yeah.
Yeah, all from that. So they also had £800 worth of money due to O2, the phone company, because they didn't pay their phone bill. £800. How do you get that kind of bill? That's like 4 years worth.
Illegal stuff. You sign up for all the features on everything and just knowing you're never gonna pay it.
As Kopcheck says in the IRC, we aren't racist. We hate everyone equally. No, I don't hate everyone equally. I hate people who don't pay their freaking rent. They don't pull their own weight in the country. I don't care where you're from. Whether you're from the UK, you're from America, from Russia, from Poland. I don't care. If you don't pay rent, you're an asshole, and I think you should go back to where you come from. Not because of where you're from, but because of the fact that you don't deserve to be in a country that's going to support you when you don't support it.
We don't hate you for where you're from. We just hate you for being you.
For being a dick. Right.
As we turn the show into a throwback to Your Opinion is Wrong.
Yes. So away from the fact that I hate those particular Polish people and how those particular Polish people suck, wedding rings do attract. I've discovered this more and more as time goes on.
Yes,
So-
the discussions of why does this happen, darn it?
This was the topic of last week, was that wedding rings do seem to attract. So I mentioned last week I had like a couple people come on to me. I've started to think maybe this always happened. I didn't notice it.
People,
or
not girls. People.
Aha. That's the point I'm going to get to. So I was out for having a couple of drinks, and I was at the bar, and this guy comes over. I'm basically looking like I do right now. I had I had a worse t-shirt on, and I wasn't exactly fancily dressed or anything, and had a couple of friends back at the table. I was picking up some drinks, and a guy comes over and he goes, "Hey," and I'm just like, "All right, bud, how's it going?" He goes, "Not bad. What are you up to?" And I'm like, "No, just out with a couple of friends." And he's like, "All right. You want to dance?" And I was like, "Nope." Nope.
Why not,
thank
Ken? He just wanted to dance.
Well, how do people not notice this? I mean, I'm saying like this.
I'm
like,
telling you,
like,
people
hands
do
out.
notice that.
It's
And
the
they're
first
like,
thing I look at if I was
"Hey."
trying to court someone, you know?
No, he wasn't trying to court you. He was trying to get a full press court on you.
I don't know what it was. Did I just wear something that says, "I want to cheat" or something? Like a big banner in the back of my head? Because that's not
Well,
the case.
if you weren't
Not at
married,
all.
you wouldn't be cheating, right?
Maybe it's just a fancy ceremonial ring. Maybe I'm part of the stonemasons. That's what it is.
No,
that's what
people
people
know exactly what it means. Maybe they just feel as though maybe you're not quite satisfied in your current relationship, and this is a time to reach out and take advantage.
Apparently so. So I've had to fend this off for a while now. I don't know what happened because again, before I was married, my wife was like one of there were like 3 people in about 20 years that were attracted to me, and then in 1 month I've had like 4 people come on to me, male and female now.
You are just
Something
now a
going
hot
on.
Scottish man there, Ken. Just
Something
hot
going on.
Scottish. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, the problem with getting a ring is it means somebody has vetted you, and so others can now look at you like, well, he's obviously a keeper. Now it's much more interesting. You're just some, scallywag running around trying to get some, then you're like everybody else. And so
I miss the days when I was unkept and I had long hair, and people went, "Oh, look at that freak! That freak! I bet he plays video games."
What are you saying
wish I
about
was
long
back
hair,
then.
sir? What are you saying about long hair?
I had a ponytail down to the bottom of my back. Thank you very much.
Now, granted, yes, my hair doesn't go down to the small of my back, so you still had me beat.
So yeah, that's what I want is for this all to stop because it's not the best thing ever. Now the final thing, random thing I would like to discuss, is somehow I've not been shopping in like a month. Like I've not bought food for myself in like a month. Or at least I have, but it's never like a full week's or 2 weeks or a month's worth of food. I seem to be either buying like a meal at a time, or I don't know, I have like just leftover foods like couscous and stuff that I have in my cupboard, like dry foods, tinned foods.
Yes,
I've
the
been
things
living
that
off that for
your
like a month
survival foods, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's like backup, isn't it? That's like, oh, I haven't been shopping today. I better go do something. I better go get something out of this cupboard.
Yes, it's stuff
But
we
for
do
some
where we have
reason-
like ramen and stuff.
Yeah, so for some reason that's what I've been living on for the past like month. I don't know why. So I remember like a month or two ago I was on Skype with Hando, and I made chili, like proper big ass bowl of chili for the first time, and it lasted me like 4 days. And then the next week I did that with like a pasta bake, and I did it with something else, and then I just stopped, and I was like, I'm not gonna cook ever again. Why do I go through phases like this? Do you do this? Is it just because I'm lazy?
Well, when it comes to cooking, I don't know. I'm not a great example because I do the in and out bachelor life here, where I try. My biggest goal is to try not to eat out constantly, but unfortunately, I am terrible in that I will just kind of eat whatever is left over in the cupboards and things like that. Like I have similar things where big bags of dry food and things. Where one of them is like a fallback I have, and I know I'm in a bad way when I go to this fallback. Is I have a big bag I got from Sam's Club, and you now understand the generous proportions of Sam's Club. But the a big bag of like pancake mix. It's like literally like 15 or 10 pounds of this dry mix. You just add water and heat it up, and now you have pancakes. Wonderful! It's easy to eat. And so when I get to the point where I'm eating pancakes more than once a day, I should probably go buy something that is more related to food. But that's like my awful time, because I don't have any ramen or anything like that. I think I have some mac and cheese things I haven't touched in years. But I do the same thing where I have kind of, the, oh my god, in case of emergency food, break glass.
Yeah.
Although sometimes I'll get spoiled a little bit. Because when I do go shopping, I'll go to a grocery store, and I'll pick up things with the intent that, okay, these are the things I'll make, and it's usually based around work. I'll have lunches and breakfasts and stuff like this all week for lunch and stuff for work. Uh-oh. As my assistant, Lieutenant Fork, it comes into the video wall and shows off the big bag of pancake mix.
That is one big ass bag.
It's so bad, so awful. But yeah, so I'll get there, and I'll go to grocery shopping, and when I buy the groceries, I'll also usually for that day, I'll buy like a hot meal from the deli line or something like that, or think of chicken or something like that, and that'll end up lasting me days, because I'll get like a big family pack and then eat a little bit each day. And so I just stopped thinking about groceries. In fact, normally, if I'm being responsible, on a Sunday afternoon or evening after the show, I will usually go buy stuff for the week so that I'm ready to eat things. But I'll also get spoiled because when my roommate, one of my roommates, not my cousin, but my other roommate, when Neil's around, he has this thing, and this is, both my cousin and I find this hilarious, but he has this thing where he always eats out. He never cooks unless his fiance is in town. But he also has the metabolism to get through it, so he's a rat bastard for it. But he'll go get like Chipotle all the time, or noodles or rice bowls from.
So eating out literally means like out at restaurants and stuff, right?
Not like the fast food type eating out and stuff like that. Because we don't usually order a lot of takeout. We don't get a lot of stuff delivered. If we do that, it's usually because I don't want to leave the house. It's snowing or something. But so we'll just go out because it also gets us out of the house, which is nice. You can say, hey, I don't just sit in front of my computer in my room all of my life. I actually see the sun on occasion. And so we'll go out and do that. He'll go out and he'll pick up food, bring it back, eat it. And the problem that Neil has that I sometimes take benefit from is once he's finished eating a current meal, if he didn't consume all his food, especially if he ends up with a large portion of something, he puts it in the refrigerator. The problem is for Neil, once it's out of sight, it is completely out of mind. And so he forgets that he has food in the house outside of the thing he just ate. And because of that, I have a rule now. If the food's been sitting in the refrigerator for more than like 3 or 4 days, he has completely forgotten its existence, and it is now free game. And so there's been several occasions where I'm like completely out of food and supplies, no groceries in the house, but hey, Neil went out and had a great meal a few days back, so I've got food. Which is just horrible, but yet works out really well. I do want to break in because the IRC has been nice and active here, and I wanted to jump back into some things that were said earlier. As I started to talk about it, our friend Hando in the IRC was talking about earlier, and I missed all the stuff leading up to it, but talking about swing dancing and such, as you brought it up with the gals you saw, I said, I want to swing dance with Ken. And he says, I'm the lead. Cupcheck comes in then and says, then I cut in and sweep him off his feet. Hando, it's how I feel for you, Cup, or it's how I fell for you, Cup. And then Cupcheck's, no! Crap! There's only Tim Hortons in New York. I don't know where I missed the transition to that, but that was like one of those secondary threads of discussion.
That's the only place that I swing dance is at Tim Hortons.
Yeah, apparently. And then comes in following saying, I'm now scared of you, Hando. And then Kopii, of course, because there's a mention of Tim Hortons, says, get real Tim Hortons from Canada. And it says, I'll mail it to you. So, which you at least
Yeah, I
jumped
say,
back
what
in
is this
there.
Tim Hortons What You Speak? I've heard of it a few times. I don't really know what it is.
It's like their big store, and I don't know specific. If I make it up there next year for Anime North or something, I'll have to. That's one of the things I will have to see. Not Niagara Falls or something like that. That's all touristy. I will have to see Tim Hortons, so I
That's
can
exactly what I did when I was
finally
in the US.
understand and appreciate all the Canadian references. Ooh, and I'll have to drink milk out of a bag. Then I'll know that I'm Canadian.
Don't do it. You'll turn Canadian, never turn back.
I'll start saying and don't you know and stuff and weird things. Wait, is that just Wisconsin? I don't know. It's all the same, right? Canada, Wisconsin, it's all the same.
I thought Alaska and Canada are the same.
It's funny because I'm offending Miss Fork out here in the background. She's sitting here saying like, I've had bagged milk. What are you talking about? But that's all right. She was from Baston and stuff. So, Hando, you'd get along really well with Lieutenant Fork. She's another one that's, although she at least made her way out safely. Where you seem to linger, and I'm sorry, but PAX East and Anime Boston are not enough of a draw to keep someone out there. They may be fun, but as we talked before, a bunch of hoity-toities think they know everything. Anyhow, totally getting off track. Let's see, what else did the people say in there? Hando apparently says people say he's the king of barbecue.
Yeah, he is.
Kuro sits there and says, I could use some pancakes. I can't wait to get into talking about that in a bit, Kuro. As we talk about what I've been up to. And Cupcheck comes in there and said, I'll make a trade copy. I'll send you a rack of Memphis ribs if you send me some Tim Tams. Ooh, that sounds like an interesting trade. I'd get in on that. What do we have here in Colorado? God, I don't know what I could send. I could send Chipotle. That started here, right? Chipotle.
I'll send everybody haggis, tinned haggis to everybody. Also, I'm getting comments in private chat from Roxy saying, no, they're not. Alaska and Canada are cold. End of comparison.
Hey, the entire anything north of where I live right now is cold. And so, yes, including New York City, Montana, North South Dakota, actually Nebraska,
So they're all
for the most
Canada
part,
then.
Iowa, Idaho. And the problem is Canada is north of all of those states that I think are too cold. So, yeah. I don't think I would survive. I think the only Canadian area I would live in that I can make it maybe is Vancouver. Maybe. So if ever like Chibi wants to put me up for a while, then I might experience some extended Canadian stay. Other than that, friggin' cold. I say this as I'm planning to go to Scotland in the middle of the winter. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's you will. That's gonna be fun. It's 12 degrees Celsius, which is about 53 degrees Fahrenheit here at the moment. Although in
it's
winter,
80 degrees
around-
here right now because it's
what?
summer. 80 degrees and sunny.
Well, that is hot. I don't know what you're talking about. But where we are, 12,
So
12,
Cupcheck
12
gave me
warm.
something. Cupcheck gave me something for Colorado that, of course, I didn't even think of. But hey, Kuro, help me out here. He says you can send pot, and I was just scanned by the FBI. So as much as it's legal here in the state for consumption, they specifically, and this has been a major problem for people that are from Colorado now, when traveling out of the state or across state lines, they have been pulling over a lot of people traveling specifically to test to see if they're carrying pot over state lines. And so now it's one of those things, if we have a Colorado license plate and we're traveling across other states next to us, we will more often get pulled over by the police just to make sure everything's okay. The bastards.
Well, we're still on holiday here in the UK, I'm afraid, so it probably wouldn't be scanned, but just saying.
Nice. Nice.
But anyway, we were talking about food, and I don't know how we got into weed and stuff. But that's
from the IRC. That is their contribution. IRC.
Yeah.
not
So
us, sir.
in
It's not
conclusion, Hodilays, golf, Sterling, night outs, those particular Polish people suck. Cupcakes, wedding cake rings do attract people, including men, and I don't cook very much. That's what we've talked about.
That is what we have learned about
minutes.
your week. Yes, I got you. I suppose that means yes. I should talk about what I've been up to. So, for those who did see, in the video wall, all two people that are watching live, and anyone who wants to go check out the video in YouTube after the show, if you're not watching live, you saw that Lieutenant Fork is visiting me this weekend, and she is here because our good friend of the show, friend of the network, Kuro, as we had said last show, was having a birthday, and so he has turned yet another year older this last week. And since the birthday was in the middle of the week, which we said happy for, he had a celebration of it with friends and family yesterday. And so Miss Fork came down, and we traveled to the town of Pueblo. I was going to put some extra words on that, but I couldn't think of anything that was at all nice. So the town of Pueblo, where Kuro hangs out and lives, and to help him celebrate with many friends.
I saw this on Facebook, and you said something like, "I love Pueblo," and I thought that was a guy.
What are you thinking of me, Ken? Come on now. No,
Pueblo. You were having a good. What you said is, why is Pueblo so hot? And
yes, I did say, why is Pueblo so hot? The town, you dirty. Well, I'm sorry, you're the one getting hit on by guys, so I can understand. But it's one of those where Pueblo, it's a town down south. It's kind of a transitional state to the state of New Mexico, which I have my own opinions of. All great places to visit. Personally, wouldn't want to live there. That's just me. I'm a little bit too suburbanite. But as we went down to Pueblo, which is, like I said, fun place to visit. I also had, it was a great opportunity because Kuro is really good friends with Tom Bad Guy and the guys from Tales of Relevant Thought. And so amongst the group, the Tort guys were there as well, and so which you should definitely listen to their show, Tales of Relevant Thought, and the Pussy and Nichols broadcast that comes on Saturday nights, and Tales that comes on after our show and after the Casuals later in the evening tonight. But so got to hang out with all those guys, which is great fun. Just they're the conversations we have and the geekery just is really entertaining. Kuro knows a lot of cool people, and so it was a lot of entertainment there. Treading the line between dysfunctional deviations and geek cred, one of the things Kuro had asked me to do, and the reason I'm not on the video wall today, is he had asked me to take down my Oculus Rift so that some people could interact the first time with some 3D immersion, which went off pretty well. I used it off the laptop and was able to get everything installed and going, so I spent a lot of time prepping for that. And that did pretty well, although my laptop was pissed at me. I didn't realize when I'd stuck it on the mouse pad that Kuro has, this massive gaming mouse pad he has, that though it did a pretty good job because it's just cushy enough of basically blocking most of the vents on the bottom of my PC, of my laptop. And so since it's a dual gaming laptop, it's got SLI and everything, it was mad at me and hot enough I probably could have cooked the meat off the grill instead of having to use his awesome egg replacement grill or whatever brand that is, Kuro, I forget. But basically, like, if everyone sees the big green egg, big ceramic grill thing. But so I went down, we celebrated his birthday, got to hang out with all those people, had some drinks, Miss as Miss Fork kind of cringes like drinks, so yeah. But Miss Fork provided Kuro with a couple of gifts that I thought he appreciated. She's very retro in that she came down and took she has a Polaroid camera. And for anyone that understands the brand, those are the cameras that as you take a picture, they instantly develop the film right out of the camera. And so you get like the old ones used to be these big ones that would produce a pretty big square picture. This one that she has is a much smaller kind of, not quite postage stamp, but smaller little photos that come out of it. And it surprised a lot of the people at the party because they were like, that is the most weird retro-looking camera ever. And then she'd take a picture and it would like, and it would come out and start developing. They're like, oh, wow, they still make those?
Oh, nice.
Which is funny. And but she also got, what did she get, Kuro? She got him a card that looked very Cards Against Humanity-like, which was pretty darn cool. And the major thing she provided him was a piñata. And it was basically a cardboard and whatever kind of paper over dinosaur that, what did you name it? Named it Rex. And then we hung it up, and after people had done some drinking and such, had Kuro go apart, taking basically a piece of wood and beat the crap out of Rex until it spilled its goods, which Lieutenant Fork had taken the time going down to stuff its rear full of chocolate goodies, because literally that was where the hole was to fill things up. I don't know if we got a picture of that process or not, but yeah, she was sitting in the car as we drove down, stuffing it in the rear. That didn't look awkward at all.
As you do.
Yes, with the little things like Rolos and such. Totally appropriate. But that was a great fun. Like I said, had the drinks. We grilled, so had like burgers and brats. And Kuro, you need to get over your fear of ketchup. You have to realize other people like, tomatoes smashed up into a paste with a bit of sugar because it's like the #1 condiment for things that come off the grill other than steak. Not just hot mustard and mayonnaise, darn it. And whatever that dill champagne stuff was, and I don't know what kind of spread that was. That sounded something very like British or something. I had no idea. That was scary.
Shut up. It's not British. Don't throw that
Yeah,
at us.
what do you guys use for sauces?
For sauces, we don't really have as many as you guys, to be honest. What kind of sauces
Exactly.
do you mean in particular?
Well, just for like if you're having a burger and fries.
Oh, well, it depends what you're into. I mean, I think the most common one is probably ketchup, although we don't call it that. We call it tomato sauce or red sauce.
Yeah, but is your
then-
ketchup actually sugar-based, or is it just crushed
No,
tomatoes?
it's tomato based.
Yeah, exactly.
There's
Which is
sugar
not
added,
ketchup.
but it's not as much as you guys. Like
Yeah,
that's
it's
why
not
we were all
ketchup.
freaked out when
It's
we had
weird.
it. We also have brown sauce is quite common. It's
Yeah.
sort of vinegar.
You put
It's kind of
brown
vinegary.
sauce?
And tomatoes. It's like vinegar and tomato sauce put together, really.
Huh.
Very common, especially with fry-ups in the morning, kind of thing. That's what that's famous for. Or what's it called? I don't know. A good few meals have brown sauce. Then we also have mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is quite popular. Mustard is not very popular, but it's available usually. And that's about it. That's about it,
Yeah,
really.
exactly. You guys are weird like that. Not nearly enough condiments. You need more things
Yeah,
to
that's what
flavor your
condiments. We have
food
like
with.
peppercorn sauce and stuff comes with steaks that are different, but like the actual stuff on the table.
Well,
we
it's
only
just
have
like we had talked about when you had come here, the like A1 sauce that you guys were blown away with
Oh,
the flavor
so
of like
good.
A1. I was
Better
like,
than
but
the
this
steak.
is what we
Better
use
than
on
the steak.
steak. What are you talking about? Anyhow,
I buy that
yeah.
online. A1 sauce. Buy.
If I come out, I will bring you some A1 sauce.
£5.50. That's like $10.
I could. I'll find you some A1 just so you could freak your friends out. I'll bring you a Sam's Club portion. Something that's
need
like
you
a
to.
gallon. I'll put it in my luggage and pack it for you.
expensive.
That'd be hilarious. Yeah. Yeah. No. So.
What's the
and,
sugar in your suitcase, sir? I promise you, it's not what you think.
Oh, no, they wouldn't mind, I don't think. Importing A1? Nah, it should be fine. Hendo actually asked us, we were talking about Kuro beating on the poor little pinata, and it was the tiniest thing ever. It wasn't even a proper-sized pinata. It was like this mini thing. It says, I wish I had video of Kuro beating the beast. But we don't have video, but we did have some pictures. And so maybe I'll post those up on BT Dub or something like that. Yeah, there's a whole adventure hanging up as Tom Bad Guy had to throw things over the branches. It was just entertaining overall. So that was great fun, going out and celebrating the birthday. The other thing, I'm trying to think if there's any major stories other than that I should bring up, anything appropriate or not, but I think that kind of covers it without getting too graphic or gory. Other than we also learned that Kuro can be sometimes quite squirrelish in that, his attention can be jumped back and forth a lot depending on what it is we're talking about, because there are several times they're like, hey, people are hungry, we should cook some food again. Oh yeah, I'll totally put some brats and burgers on. And then like people are sitting there like, wait, was he gonna cook something? Where'd Kuro go? And but I had to jump in there like, I'll throw the food on, and he comes back. I was like, oh yeah, I was gonna do that. Sorry guys, that was funny. Anyhow, beyond that, I was.
Had a good time though.
Oh yeah, it was fun. Although I think Lieutenant Fork's still recovering a little bit, which she has no excuse for. She barely drank anything, and I drank a bunch and still had to drive to and from. So, kids these days and their inability to handle their alcohol. I say this totally
You're
before
just
I get
experienced now, sir. You've been drinking with me on and off for a while. You're slowly rising in the ranks, you see.
Oh, I did actually. I was quite proud of myself. Oh, I did get the present I provided. The main one was I decided to provide some alcohol for Kuro, and at the time I was really trying to think when we went to the store what would be appropriate. And I know that Kuro appreciates a good rum like I do, so I found one that I saw the name, was like, that's what I have to get him today. It was a nice spiced rum, one of the better ones out of the brand. But when I saw it, I thought, yeah, I think this is appropriate for tonight. So I got him some Mount Gay rum. Which I thought you'd appreciate,
fantastic.
Ken. I thought you'd appreciate that. So yes,
That's a
Kuro
great
got some gay. Got to get up on the mountain there. So
I like this theme we've got going today for some reason.
theme, it's really been a lot about you, Ken. Just because you like to attract the man. Yeah.
You're the one buying the gay.
Hey, yes, but I was
didn't buy
providing
any.
it.
I only obtained.
Wait, I thought you just attracted. What do you mean obtain?
That's
Did
it,
you
I
get a
guess.
new achievement, Ken? Took it in the. Oh wait. Okay, so I think that has everything to say about the birthday. The other thing that I did was I was a good Samaritan. I helped out some friends by helping them move. Got a call from a group of gals that were basically just like, "Hey, anyone out there can help us move today?" It was fortunate I wasn't doing anything Friday morning, so I was like, "Why not?" So I did the whole man thing, get out there and lift boxes and couches and things like that, which is nice and probably a good thing because the only other guy that was there that was going to be helping, not to say women can't move things, but these women were not the ones you'd expect to move furniture. And one of the gals' father came out, but he was like in his 60s, and I think he had said to me himself that he hadn't been to the gym for many, many years. And so it was troublesome for him to kind of walk up and down the stairs multiple times, let alone lift like heavy objects. So I do feel like I did my good Samaritan deed for the year or something, or near term.
That's good.
In helping them move and got that all done very quickly and stuff like that. Anyhow, so that's what I did that was
you're
not
too good a guy, Wayne.
geeky. Yes, because that's how you succeed in the world. Oh no, that's how you're sad and used and abused in the world. Anyhow, with that, I think we'll go
you like
on.
to get used and abused. What are you talking about?
No, wait. This is a positive show. I will stay out of reality. So going on to things a little less trivial and just, us being narcissistic and making you all listen to our lives, let's talk about things a little more geeky today. So with that, I will transition over with this and say, you know what? We're going to go a little bit...
I'm a geek. Are you a geek? Geek cred, level up!
And to drop us directly into the Geek Cred segment today, we have an email! And this email, as we were warned about in our League of Legends match before the show, comes from our friend Cupcheck, formerly known as Cupcheck Will. It says, "Hey dudes! I wasn't in the IRC this past week due to me still attending Anime BluesCon 4, and oh boy do I have stories to share. There was 2 forms of security at the con, one provided by the convention center, which have had so many complaints on the Facebook page. The other one, which the con leader brought in for now the 4th straight year. The one provided by the convention center was in charge of, quote, weapon check-in, and they were so stupid in the matter they almost took apart a homemade portal gun because they thought it was going to shoot lethal rounds.
Oh my
God, that's insane. Why not to let non-geeks deal with geek things?
Reaching. That must be so annoying. So try to break through your creation like that.
Yes, especially if it's homemade. I'd want to smack a fool. Oh, there was also a huge, and by huge I mean stupidly large, amount of people sharing the same space as us, which I didn't mind. But it was a Christian choir competition. The first day, I ran into a friend of mine who happened to bring her boyfriend along. Her boyfriend was one goat sacrifice away from being a complete daywalker as he was dressed to the nines in the, quote, interview with the vampire inspired clothes he was wearing. He happened to notice the competition going on and happened to make his way towards the guy in charge of checking for badges at the door. I don't know the context of the conversation they were having, but he walked away as the elderly man was screaming, "You are all going to hell! You hear me?" Before this, I was leaning up against a pillar out of sight of the man screaming, and I was laughing so hard I fell away from the pillar, hit the floor, only to be laughing my ass off as the man who had just condemned about 6,000 people. Now it's time to completely embarrass myself.
Can I jump in there, by the way?
Please do at the moment.
Side note. That would not happen in the UK. That kind of thing never happens. Religion is barely ever mentioned here in the streets. I mean, occasionally
that's because you guys are
we find that kind of
civilized.
annoying, but it's rare. Church is kept inside the churches normally.
Oh, not us. This is America. You got to force your opinions on everybody else. Darn it! Why aren't you also America like us?
Really down on here as it should be.
Yeah,
you shouldn't force your religious opinions on people on the street where they're like.
But that's what religion is for.
It's like somebody trying to sell you something, It's annoying to come sell you anything, whether it be ideas or stuff.
Did I talk about that? I'm trying to remember if I talked about the DCC episode or not about how Lieutenant Fork was getting sold religion on the street. Trying to remember if I brought that up or not, but yeah. Speaking of selling religions,
I think Fork should come tell herself.
Fork, do you want to tell the story about you getting sold a religion?
No.
She's embarrassed because I do think I brought it up where she didn't have the gumption. She's throwing things at me. The gumption to tell a street guy basically to piss off since he was trying to force a religious thing on her. What was it? Okay, so give me that piece. What was it again that Miles from Tort said to get the guy off? Because not like that, but to get him to no longer harass. Because he was essentially trying to push a meditation book, like, we have this thing about meditation and this and that, and Fork was too nice and kind of sat there and was like, oh, this, that, and the other, and then Miles stepped in and...
No, Miles just
Now
told
get
me to
up here,
stop.
get up here, come on. Stop doing that, get up to the mic.
Alright. No, Miles just told me to stop being stupid about it, and the second guy we walked past tried to stop us, and Miles basically goes, no, 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 and just yells at the guy and keeps going, and he's like, that's how you handle it.
So yes, it's basically giving Fork a life lesson to say if you have people that are trying to force things upon you, you can say no.
That's true.
So
No.
well, and the whole point was like Miles jumped in between Fork and the guy and was like in the guy's face like no, and just the guy kind of backed off all scared like whoa. It's like see, that's how you do it. But yeah. As Fork's
very
all
funny.
embarrassed over here, like, I don't want to say that. Anyhow, we continue saying, Eric Stewart, the voice of Brock from the first 5 seasons of the original Pokemon series, was one of the many Pokemon Dragon Ball Z voice actors to appear at the con. He was at the pajama party that was on the historic Beale Street. Wait, pajama party? We don't have these in our anime cons. This sounds amazing. I need to bring that in. Yes, that sounds awesome. That would be where all the what are those full bodysuit things called? The yeah, those things. Yes. I could wear my panda to essentially. Let's see. His cup was never empty, but it looked like he was drinking water. I approached him and leaned in so he could hear me as I said, "Thanks for coming back," as this is his second con appearance in the city. We were talking for about 15 minutes, trading stories, and then it finally hit me that he wasn't drinking water. The man who was in the cast of the first anime I've ever watched happened to be drinking Grey Goose with over 150 nerds inside the New Daisy Theater. Well, that's just being awesome. That's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of awesome. It's also very expensive
wait.
here
So
anyway.
to throw in the true geek cred here, since we're in that section, Kopii jumps in as she would. Says Eric Stewart voiced Gory in Slayers. If you chumps would ever watch it, you would know. And James in Pokemon, best bad guy. As she's letting us know because of course Kopii knows all things geek and then some. As he was walking around, he managed his way to the dance floor, drink still in hand. At the same time, I was saying to my goodbyes for the night, and as I made my way around to all of my friends, as the last group of people were on the dance floor. As I spotted my friends, I leaned in to give her a hug, and as I was bending over, as the dance floor was about 4 inches lower than than where I was standing, the DJ plays a hard dubstep track. Hey, yes, that was as written. And they all started jumping. As he jumped in the air, the top of her head cracked me straight in the chin. Lucky all the drinks I had the night stunted the pain as I was that was coursing through my body. Oh, buddy,
No,
you
corking.
thought that
Corking
was
through
bad.
his body.
Yeah, it says corking.
Corking.
Without the K. I thought I had enough money on me for 2 drinks, then I was going to have fun and dance the night away. Well, the party ended early for me as the aforementioned occurred and my Magic the Gathering buddies happened to spot me in the sea of humanity. I already had the 2 drinks and 3 free drinks provided by the con because I was in my PJs because they were given to me by con goers that didn't drink. And they had a goal.
Nice.
The men on a mission wanted to get me completely wasted due to the fact that they knew I was that I treated ABC as my birthday con. So on top of that, the 5 I had, I acquired 10 more. Safe to say, I was gone. Way gone. I was at the con day 2 and realized that all of my money was gone. Trying to put the pieces back together, I realized something weird had happened. The ladies behind the bar that night happened to be overly nice to me, and I tipped them what I thought was a wad of ones that were in my pocket. Oh, I actually tipped them my entire bankroll of $150, and 2 days without food or drink or extra smokes makes Cupcheck a dull boy. They wanted me to have a great time, and I did. Just can't believe, quote, the Academy Award for Best Sober Man in a Sea of Drunks went to someone else that night. My reign as champion has ended. Thanks for reading, Cupcheck. P.S. There's even more stories. I'll share them during the VTW game night.
Oh my god, $150.
Wow, normally when a man drops that in a single spilling, you'd hope there came along with that some, what would you think? Some accommodations,
dancing
if
at
you
least.
will,
Jeez.
something that would say it was worth that kind of money spending. Somebody was making it rain.
Oh,
Damn,
God.
Cupcheck, damn. But, wow. That is an epic story of greatness at a con. I do feel bad for you, though, having to sober up the rest of the con and realize you didn't have the spending money you thought you did. That kind of hurts.
At least you had one hell of a night, at least.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
man.
it sounds like it was epic enough to more than make up for not having the money you thought. That hurts me, and yet I'm proud of you. At the same time, how weird is that? Anyhow, What I do think this sets us up for wonderfully is this transitions us into a time for a break. And so we are going to take a quick break. We're going to get you to listen to one of my favorite bands because it's the one nice and local here called Edifice from my buddy Adrian that I've worked with in the past. One of the songs we all love, Verbosity. And then we will be back just after this to continue our geek cred, and we may even be joined by someone else at that point. So, with that, you are listening to Show X, and we will be back with you in just a bit. All right, guys, see you shortly.
Send in your emails to showx@vtwproductions.com.
Hey, this is John DiMaggio. You're listening to vtwproductions.com. So don't stop listening. Continue to listen. Why are you not listening? Wait a minute. What?
listening to Show X on VTWProductions.com.
All right, everyone, as we get to continue now, talking a little bit of geek cred on VTWProductions.com. So, we are joined, as was coming during the break, with our good friend Hando. How are you doing today, sir?
Gentlemen, what's going on?
I don't know, this show thing we do on occasion where we try to tell people like about our lives and geeky stuff, maybe even news on, I don't know, stuff like that. Why? What's going on with you?
Let's see. I don't know. The week kind of started off. Well, actually, the week started off awesome because Kopii did it again. I happened to
this
be
is a
on
good
the Steam
transition.
page,
Yes.
And she's just like, hey, or no, I was just like, hey, look at this, the Steam sale all up in my face, and I just happened to mention, I really just happened to mention, I just said, oh, Tomb Raider is $5. And just like, oh, but Stanley Parable is $6, and then all of a sudden, boom, Tomb Raider's in my box from Kopii. Thank you, Kopii. You're awesome. You always are awesome during these things.
Yes, and the thing I have to remind everybody during these things is, and it's actually, this is a good time to bring it up, because Ken, you're going to show the link, but when the Steam sales come on, and we have such a great community, everybody is very, supportive of each other and such, and during these sales, they like to show off like, hey, here's the things I've purchased and what everyone else should get. So while this happens, a lot of us are very generous amongst the community in VTW, and I think there's a whole list where on those forums people are talking about the sales they've done and that they've gotten, and in the past we've done like round robin things where people buy the next person a gift. Well, during the Steam sales, the one person who seems to do this for everyone is our friend Miss Kopii. And so I suggest
she should be reciprocated.
I suggest everyone who has received any kind of love from our friend Miss Kopii return in kind.
Absolutely.
Especially as the Steam sales end tomorrow. If you have not partaken, you need to jump on there now. In fact, I was just going to tell people as we get into this, the things that are currently on the main page for sales. That's everything from like Kerbal Space Program, if you're a geek, South Park, The Stick of Truth. They have Dynasty Warriors, The State of Decay, Civilizations, Bioshock Infinite, Dragon Age, Brothers, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Space Engineers, Walking Dead, Dishonored, Dark Souls, Fallout New Vegas, Payday 2, Arma 3, Skyrim, Counter-Strike Go, Planetary Annihilation, The Stanley Parable, Divinity, Far Cry 3, the whole Metro Complete Edition, Total War Rome 2, 7 Ways to Die, Wasteland 2, Borderlands 2, Metal Gear Rising, Terraria, Batman, Arkham Origins, Tomb Raider, Age of Wonder, the Grand Theft Auto 4 with all its add-ons, Battle Block Theater, XCOM Unknown, The Wolf Among Us, Lego Movie the video game, Saints Row the 4th, The Witcher, and Banished. Just amongst the front page of things they have. And there's even more that I won't get into, but things that Canon is focusing on, like Thief for half off, the new Thief game, Wolfenstein the New Order for half off, which that might actually, is that the new game? Or, yeah, that's the one that was released just now. Released May 19th, 2014. How is that 50...
I know, right?
I see that. Totally not looking at that right now. Not gonna buy things during the show. Not going to buy things during the show. Damn it! Anyways, also to be thrown out though, so check out her wish list or just the things in Kopii's general, inventory. And if there's something you think she's missing out on, please reciprocate. Buy her something. It doesn't have to be on sale, but if it is, makes it that much easier. And send something out to her. She needs to be flooded with the love from VTW.
May I throw out a challenge to the community?
Yes. What, Hando, would you like to throw out as a challenge to the community?
Kopii has had this thing on her list. At the top of the list, I believe, if you look at it, it's a $40 program. I challenge us to try and make that happen by the end of the day for Kopii. She's had it at the top of that list forever, and I throw it out there as a challenge for all of us. I wish we could do partial payments.
If you could get a group of each together.
But,
hey, it would be so easy if people want to, just to make it that much easier. I will commit to getting that for her by the end of the show, and if anybody wants to donate to the cause, anything that comes into it will go straight to Kopii by sending payments to DocDead at PayPal. If you throw them in the PayPal, anything that comes, just put in the notes in there, Kopii love, and I will make sure that it all goes to Kopii in the form of some kind of digital something, or maybe, I don't know, a gift certificate for a fabric store in her area or something.
Oh,
so things in that mind.
I've already purchased the RP to pick her up something on LOL. So I will be getting her something there. But everybody else, yeah, go ahead and do that, please.
That is another great option because Kopii is always struggling with having more characters in League of Legends. She can only save up so much IP at a time to be able to buy things, and you know that Kopii does love the lovely skins. So if you have not friended Kopii in League of Legends, there is the option there to buy RP. That's another option. So either means, either send me something with some Kopii love in the notes to PayPal, and I will make sure she gets it, or send things into her directly on Steam through her wish list, or through the internets and League of Legends, because she loves to play there, and she loves all the female characters. So if you can fill up her list, she would squee. So, yes.
She's refusing to tell me what she wants. So I've said, do you want Jing? She said, oh, I've got that. I was like, okay, do you want a mystery one? Mystery skin? Do you want something specific? Tell me! And she's ignoring me intentionally.
Well, and she's trying the IRC to tell people no. So she says she likes randomness. Well, the nice thing is, as long as we don't tell her what she's getting, it'll seem random to her. But let's all pull together. I think she needs some love. On the note of other things that are sellable and places people can get things, I like to give people that heads up to Steam because it's huge. But there are other sites out there that equally do amazing sales. And so all the community, check out other sites like Green Man Gaming. They sell Steam codes and tend to do sales at the same time as Steam itself. Another big one is Good Old Games. So GOG.com, GOG.com, well, they sell older things. Some of the big ones are on sale right now, and theirs says like 17 hours left on their sale, but they have the D&D Master Set for 80% off, only $21. Heroes of Might and Magic. They have the Wing Commander Saga, which is epic, for $10. Ultima's Complete Saga, all of the Ultima games, the originals, for $7. The Leisure Suit Larry compilation, which I may just pick up because it's Leisure Suit Larry, for all of $4 and change. Check out GOG. If you have something for old classics, you should go check them out. They have so many games on sale. And if I didn't just always just store games and just collect games, I really shouldn't just collect games. I should actually play them. Anyhow, check out all of the sites. Oh, they have Sam and Max for $10. The entire Telltale thing. That's like 90% off.
90%.
Yeah. Well, because
each episode went as high as 75.
It's so good though. Dang it. Anyhow. So yes, check out GOG, check out Green Man Gaming, check out all of them. They are such goods. What? Kopii is now telling me that the Humble Bundle team has teamed up with SGDQ last week, and from that money it went to Doctors Without Borders. So I'm assuming that's the Games Done Quickly from SGDC that they do on Twitch, which they always raise money, which is really good. And thank you for letting us remind people about that if you wanted to donate or be a part of it. Anyhow, that's not the sales. We're talking about geeky things. Hannah, what else did you want to throw out there?
Let's see. So, Tomb Raider, man, getting all the old feels back. Just the game is so immersive and intense. Like I missed it back when it came out, but man, I only play the game at night because I want to feel like I'm on the Lost Island at nighttime and it's raining and I've got my torch and just so immersive. Getting all the old feels back for that game. Been playing some World of Tanks. Been having my face handed to me. Same thing in Hearthstone. I'm just losing like all the time now. I don't know. I thought I had a good priest deck, but now I'm just like I'm just getting stomped. And I actually got to play a little bit of Borderlands yesterday with Cup Check. And,
wait, you got to play some
Borderlands.
Awesome.
So and that was good to revisit that game again because that game is just so much more fun with people. Like just two dudes running around, just shooting the crap out of everybody. It feels more like a bank robbery that way as opposed to because I play sniper class, of course, and so I'm always trying to taunt that one dude to come after me, and then I run back and then I shoot him in the head, and I'd rather cover the guys that go in there with guns blazing, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna get shot by that guy. He doesn't even see behind him. Blam, and I save his life, and it's like, you didn't even realize I just saved you, did you? But
nice.
Yeah, and so on top of all of the chaos of the Steam sale, to top it off with the big massive cherry on top, I had Wolfenstein sitting with 50% off, with right in my face on my screen, and I'm like, it's 50% off. I should just get it. and if I click off the screen, I'll forget about it, and the sale's over in 4 hours. So I'm just like, yeah, all right, there's $30 on Wolfenstein, but I want to play that game because the trailer was so great at PAX. It was just so good, and I'm just like, yep, looks like I'm playing a first-person shooter again. And, of course, Borderlands being a first-person shooter, but this is like the old, going back, old-school classic, terrible graphics and 8-bit nonsense or whatever it was back in the day. So, yeah, that'll be good. I'm looking forward to that. Yep, so that I'm not buying anything else. Please stop me. Stop me, please.
Good luck, sir. Good luck. Oh, jeez.
Anyway, that's my report.
So bad. There's so many things to purchase. I'm totally not going through GOG now trying to say I should buy all of these things.
You see, I'm not too pulled into that. Like the older games that I enjoyed, I still have from my childhood and stuff. I don't feel the need to go buy them again.
Well, so there's lots that I missed. That's the problem. And since there are some that I just never got a piece of, I now look at them like I should get these things because.
You guys didn't like Ken. You didn't go back and buy like a couple versions of Duke Nukem just to see the part where he goes and looks at himself in the mirror and and is like, oh look, there's a urinal, I can take a pee in this, or stupid things like that.
You see, like I mentioned last week or 2 weeks ago, I just got my PlayStation 2 and my old Sega Mega Drive back, and I've still hooked those up. So that's going to be my thing. For all my childhood, there's going to be nothing else. Nothing else. Anything PlayStation 1 related, yeah, maybe I might pick something up, but I've experienced in the past that nostalgia that I have for these old games, if I go back and play them now, I'm just like, oh wait, it's not the same because I'm no longer in that era, because it is different. It's because I'm spoiled now. I'm used to this extremely beautiful graphics of, Tomb Raider, and I love it, and it's so immersive, and the atmosphere is great music, it's not like 8-bit. And if I go back now, it's just like, back then it felt like real life, but now it looks like a bad game, like just a really bad old, I don't know. And I think I'm quite unique in that respect, because most people can go back and enjoy it, no problem, but apparently I cannot, and I'm sad for that.
Admittedly, I have trouble a lot of times doing the nostalgia thing, because for me, graphics, if they're not good anymore, they hurt me.
Yep.
And I feel bad for that, but I shouldn't. This shouldn't matter to me, right? It does. I used to always feel bad in the exact same way. I used to think oh man, I must be a total I must be just completely modern, total geek for new stuff and hate old stuff. What's wrong with me? I must be just the worst guy ever. But the truth is, you know what? It's okay to like art that is beautiful. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's okay to think, you know what? Old technology is old and new technology is new. New technology is shiny. Old technology is not. That's okay. I like shinies. I like the pretty things. You know this about me. I think I'm pretty open about that. So it goes back and forth. I don't know. The problem is I like to collect certain things, and I actually like to give some throwback love to some of the classic things out there that help bring me up through the world. And so there's two sides of it. It's kind of because I know, and I talk about this all the time, I will never end up playing all the things that Carmageddon Max Pack. What? Oh wait. Things.
Do you know what's better though? When they remake old games, like this new Tomb Raider, it's not quite a remake. It's more of it's a prequel, but it's still got the old aspects, and it's clearly got the guys.
There are certain ones that they are getting truly remade, and those ones you should keep an eye out. What was one of them?
They're fun. They're awesome. They're new. They're beautiful, and they're still got the old you still dives and stuff, and you're like, oh man, I can still do that stuff. It's awesome, But if you just go back and playing it, it lacks in a way because back then it was new and now it's not, and you can never go back to that.
Well, but there are certain things that because they didn't, not everything's getting remade. There are certain types of gameplay, and they did it where the LucasArts side-scroll games that we used to play, the Monkey Island ones and the old King's Quest and things like that, because they're not remaking those anymore, as far as I can tell. Sometimes it's good to get some of those old games just so you can play a style that's not made anymore. Nobody makes those, and that's some of the things that's kind of too bad. But so I don't know. There's lots of aspects to it. Anyhow, so Hando, I thank you very much for joining us and talking about some of the geek things and getting us started with the discussion of the Steam sales because it's absolutely appropriate. Oh, yes. Any last shout-outs you want to throw before we let you go?
Find me on Hando VTW on Twitter. I'd like to. I did a little bit of WildStar this week. I finally got into Adventures, which is like Dungeons Light, and that's been good because questing is really it's just a grind in that game, and I'm not sure if I like it yet. So Hando VTW on Twitter. If you guys want to get a WildStar thing going or any other kind of groups, in the VTW community.
Awesome. Thank you very much, sir. And we will catch you on the forums and everywhere else.
Later, guys.
All right, sir. So what things have you been focused on? I do want to throw out there, as we were talking about the copy love that has come to us, one of the things that's absolutely happened is she got me the, essentially, where we had, well, she filled out the rest of my Wizard Suicide Simulator collection so that I'm up to date on everything to kill wizards.
Good man. Good man.
Yes, so I got my Magicka update, thanks to Kopii. The other thing that I got from her was I now have a new Suicide Simulator, and that is for sheep, which I'm sure you would appreciate. She gave me the murder simulator for sheep called Flockers. Have you ever seen this program? Yeah, it's essentially a remake of like a Lemmings. Well, so this is a lot like Lemmings in that you have a group of sheep that are just coming from one side and trying to get to an exit on the other side, and there are a lot of things blocking their way, and so you have to use it as a puzzler to get their sheep, as many as you can, into the safe zone, as there are spinning blades of death and dropping pistons that crush, and it's just like this murder or this gauntlet of things that will kill all the sheep. And so I've had an opportunity now to try to save as many sheep as I can. But thank you very much, Kopii, for that, amongst other things. And it's fun because I was just looking through some of like the community background of what people have been picking up. And so like some names for the past, but people like Lil Rex has picked up Far Cry 3 and Borderlands 2. Critical picked up Dishonored. Tabaxian got Goat Simulator, as well as Final Fantasy 7. My buddy Paz picked up some Civilization 5. We have people. There's so many games out there that people have jumped on, picked up during the Steam sale. It's always fun. And that's what I was going to say. Could you tell us about what we're doing in the forum for the Steam sales?
Sure. So a couple of the guys have started off, like I said, a thread that's just dedicated to talking about the Steam sales, what you picked up. And since the last day, you've got a bit of time just now to go and discuss what you've bought with the community, why you've bought it, if it's still available, if others can go pick up. For example, we started a discussion on Game Dev Tycoon, which got me back into the game. I've been playing it a bit this week again. It's good fun. It's just such a. It's back to that original argument that I think that is based around why games work, because you feel like you're doing some kind of progression. And I think these Tycoon games kind of got it down because you can see the stats. And the same with Prison Architect, because you can see the actual numbers, and you're like, oh man, look all this money I'm making. And that part of your mind really enjoys that. That primal part of your mind that's like, I can feed my children now.
Oh, that's hilarious.
I think that's the back end of what's going on in mind and why we enjoy these kind of games. And I think Game Dev Tycoon does that, because you're like, oh yes, I got 9 out of 10 ratings in that game. That means I'm going to get really loads of sales and more fans. My new games in the future will be better. Yes! And it's just great. And then after like 5 hours, you're sick of it, and you're like, why am I still playing this? I just wasted a whole day playing this.
Well, you say that's funny because if anybody hadn't checked the article on the front page, our friend Tom Bad Guy did a review of Game Dev Tycoon. And just to preface it, you need to go read it yourself, the whole thing. It says, his introduction to it, because he's so eloquently spoken, says, so they say crack is addicting? Those poor souls never played Game Dev Tycoon.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys haven't checked it out, you need to read the review from Tom Bad Guy about Game Dev Tycoon. But yeah, so much goodness, so bad.
Also, big shout out to Kopii as well. She also bought me Monopoly because it was in my wish list. Thank you, Kopii. You didn't have to. You're too nice.
I know.
I've been installing that today, so I'll be playing that at some point.
Wait, installing? You mean you already installed it because it took you like 10 seconds to get it, right?
Well, I installed it during the show like a minute ago, so yeah, it's done now.
Yeah, okay, I was gonna say. Figured.
As you can tell by the internet, like all of our show failing and all the audio going bad.
Yeah, the lag that was going on to your Scottish bandwidth, you bastard.
So yeah, go check out that thread. It's in the forums. Go to vtproductions.com. Hit forums at the top. Go down to the gaming board. Is in there. It's an interesting read to read through. See what other guys have been picking up. Loads of show hosts are actually talking, which is cool. Loads of staff. So go take part with those guys. They're all cool folks. All right. So my geek cred then, because I've not done that yet. So yeah, the first thing I had here, which we kind of already discussed, really, is the LOL client sucks on Mac. Screw you, Riot. Please fix that. That's really freaking annoying. Ruined my night.
You know, you could probably set up like streaming from your gaming PC to the Mac using the.
Not when my gaming PC is in the north side of the country. No.
Why is it there? That sounds like a bad way to do this.
Because it's difficult to travel to the other side of the country with my gaming PC and monitor and mouse and keyboard and all my peripherals.
Well, you figure
via train.
You know what you need to do is, because you have such fast Scottish internets, You should probably set a VPN
Actually
up
stream.
between the two and see if that's not fast enough low latency that you could do streaming from your gaming
That's a good
box
point,
in
actually.
another part
I'd
of
be
the country
interested
to
to see
yours.
that work, actually.
That would be actually
I might try
a
that
brilliant
out.
thing. If you did that, that'd be epic.
Yeah. Oh my god, I could play games with from any computer in the world.
Yeah, take a breath. Take a breath, Ken. I know.
I could do it at work. No.
Hey, whoa!
Do that.
Stop!
Don't
Stop!
fire me! Don't fire me! Don't fire me!
He's never done that. That was just a random
kidding,
thought.
kidding. Okay.
Damn, I'm
Okay.
by that Wolfenstein.
So yeah,
Anyhow,
Monopoly
go.
of all client sucks. I've been playing Tomb Raider. I for some reason mixed my notes together here. I'll move that across. Been playing Tomb Raider a lot this week. I've not finished it yet, which is amazing because I thought this game was going to go by really fast because I've been playing it a lot. You know, I thought it was going to go flying by and I'll just forget about it quickly because it'll be like, over and done with. But I've played it for 13 hours now, and I'm still not finished. I've still not finished the game. To be fair, I'm playing on hard difficulty, but it doesn't feel hard. It feels quite realistic, I'd say. It's not because it doesn't feel as if they're just insta-scoping me and shooting me down. It's more along the lines of, oh, I was being an idiot there. I was standing in the middle trying to shoot down 3 guys. I should have stood behind something there. You know, the game itself is really fun though. I think that the realism really does add something. I think the way that they've done it is amazing. It feels like an adult game. And the other Tomb Raiders, while technically they were adult games because you're shooting people, there wasn't any swearing or anything really in them, at least not in the older ones I played. But this one, at the very start, she gets an arrow through her side, man. You're just like, Lara, no, what? And it's like so brutal, and there's like themes of like sexual assault because a couple of times she gets captured throughout the game, and the guy's just like, yeah, we
I
got
haven't
you
seen
now.
me a
And they grab
lady
her,
for
like,
some time.
yeah, they like move their hand down towards like places, and then you can press F quickly, and it like
Wait, no.
punches them in the
Press F
face.
to what? Oh wait, no, the different
Punches them
key.
in the face, and it's awesome. And then otherwise they strangle you to death or something. So it's sort of implied that they're going to do that, but they don't actually go that route, which is interesting. I think they must have tried to get around an R rating or something by doing that. I don't know.
That's a game. They could be adult. It's okay.
Yeah, but I like those themes. I thought it was quite appropriate because most of the people who played Tomb Raider, well, in fact, every single person who ever played Tomb Raider when it came out initially, they're all adults now. And that's what J.K. Rowling did with Harry Potter, you know? At the very start, it was very much themed for, a kid's age group. And then by the last book, it was aimed for people who were my age at the time, which were like 20. And we all enjoyed that. We enjoyed the themes progressing, and it suited the people who were reading it. And it really felt like the characters progressed that way as well. And it's the same kind of thing they're doing with Tomb Raider, except while Lara's not getting older, it's actually a younger version. But it feels like they're opening the world to those that have grown up with the game, and that's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's very smart to accomplish that, where you can deal with people that can handle, a strong narrative, where you can deal with, good themes and kind of scary events even to a degree. Plus, as Hando puts it in there with the game, says Laura dies all the ways in that game.
Oh yeah.
It's one of
I've
those,
killed her a
if
few
you ever,
times.
if you ever want to really be entertained, whenever the scripted events especially, fail once or twice and see how
Yeah,
they kill her.
yeah.
It's always terrible, brutal, and harsh, but yet so well done.
There's a couple times she's like the worst one, and I was like, I had to stop for a second. It was so bad. There's this little simple event. You had to like jump around some blocks or something above the sea, and I couldn't quite work out. It turned out really obvious as it usually is, but I couldn't work out where to go next at this one point. I was on this boat, and it was like shipwrecked, but it was like half in the water, half against a rock, so it wasn't sinking or anything. It was okay. And I walked up to this like pier and this like mast at the end that was pointing sort of forward and up a little bit. I walked to the very end, and I was like,
Okay.
Maybe I'm supposed to jump over there? I'm not too sure. Turns out that was just like a side thing that you can walk up there. It wasn't actually part of the main quest. And I like just jump into the ocean. And at first I thought, it's fine. Lara can swim in other games. No doubt she can swim in this one. But there's some rough seas. And it just cuts to a scene of her like falling underwater, her body moving forward really rapidly suddenly, then right back and her head cracks against a rock. And there's blood everywhere and she's dead. And you're like, oh man! Oh! I feel bad.
Why did
that
I
was
kill her like that?
horrible.
I'm sorry, Laura. I didn't mean it.
I know. Oh,
That's
but
awesome.
She's fun. I feel like at the start, I don't want to go into politics. I'm a very big advocate of. I love original feminism. I think it's a fantastic movement. It did great for the human race as a whole. However, modern feminism is something different in my opinion. I have a lot of problems with that. But
What?
that's
You've
a
never
different
talked
matter.
about
Anyway,
this, Ken. What do you mean? You want to explain more?
No. But in this game, at the very start, you already get the feel that she's clearly a badass. She gets this bow and she's hunting some animals and cutting them up and eating the meat. And you're just like, yeah, Lara, you can do this. Yeah, it's like old times. We can do this. We're gonna get your pistols soon, have infinite ammo, and it's gonna be awesome. And then at one point, I can't remember what happened. She like gets grabbed by some guy and she's like, "Oh, Joseph, save me!" And you're like, "No, you don't need to call for everybody. You're the most badass person here. You can kick all their asses, all the asses."
Well, but there are two sides to that story, and that's the whole point of what Tomb Raider did in this one specifically, is showing this was her first real major adventure into being the Tomb Raider.
Yeah, I know.
And so initially, she has some innate like willpower and such, but she's really an inexperienced teen at the beginning of this. So at the beginning, she does have those moments where she needs to be saved, and she's not as sure of herself. But by the end of the game,
But
that has
seriously,
completely
she just got stabbed
changed.
in the side and is going on fine. I mean,
Well, no, you say going on. No. You say going on going on fine. She really does like limp along and is hurt. And
Later.
no, in the very first scene. But that's what I say. By the end of the game, she does become Billy Badass, and so it does progress her. And that was kind of one of the goals they had with the game, to show her progression, how she became essentially Tomb Raider. And it's funny because Cupcheck says, "quote all the asses," and it says you quoted that for Ken 2014. Which what's funny about that one is actually you play Tomb Raider and that's kind of your view the whole game. But anyhow,
that's why you play it. I think that should be the show title, by the way.
done.
I also really like the fact that throughout the game, you know how most of these kind of games also try and make you use the environment around you, like, hey, there's some explosives over there, or here's a new gun, maybe you should use it, and the next environment's totally suited for that one gun.
Yes, how they kind of just lead you down the path.
That. I'm just like, screw your guns, I've got bow and arrow, I don't need a grenade launcher.
Oh, come on, if you saw the original Total Biscuit review of the game, when he did his WTF, he said essentially you can play the entire game with just a bow. One of the biggest problems with Tomb Raider is they make ammo a little too plentiful throughout the game.
Yeah,
if they had reduced that a little bit, it would have been better for the perks where you can like recover ammo or more ammo from characters. That would have been more important. I like never ran out of ammo. Yeah, there's more they could have done to make it a little more difficult, but it's still, I think, a beautiful and wonderful game.
Oh yeah. I mean, like when you collected stuff, it was more collecting it for extra reward than actual survival. So calling it survival was silly. It's more like I'm buying stuff from Prada. It's like extra resources. It wasn't anything.
I just
it
want
wasn't
to look
necessary.
prettier. Cool. So what else have you been doing this week outside of Laura's asses?
Yeah, I'd highly recommend that, by the way. So away from gaming, since I didn't actually get to play LOL, I've been reading, and I've been reading stuff that I kind of feel, when I saw it in the bookstore, I wasn't looking for these books in particular, but I saw them and I thought, why the hell haven't I read these yet? Like, I think these are the kind of books that any modern man or woman should read, because it's like the basis of our modern science.
Gotcha.
It's just like factual for our life and how life works.
Some of those core books that aren't just necessarily the ones that you deal with, like, the classic stories, but just core knowledge books, yeah. So what have you been reading?
Yeah, because we all get like basic biology and basic maths and stuff in high school. We might touch on it, but when you're in your 20s at least or more, you look back and you see these books and you're like, you know what? I'm an adult now. I can probably handle a slightly more advanced non-high school version of what the basis of what I learned on, and I think I should advance that knowledge. And that's what I've been trying to do by picking up these books. So
look at you trying to level up.
Yeah, basically. So I picked up Cosmos by Carl Sagan. So I've seen the TV series, which is very much kind of a watered-down, easy version of it. It's visual and fantastic and beautiful, but it's to try and get you hooked in, really, I think. I think it's trying to say, hey, look, science is fun. It's really interesting to know this kind of stuff, and it's great for the human race. Please go do it. So I think the book is a bit more difficult to read, and it's a bit more of a heavy read to go through, but it's a really interesting thing to go through as well. It's definitely worth trying out. I've not actually read Cosmos yet. I only read the first few pages when I bought it. But the other book I've been reading, and I'm about 100 pages in so far, is The Origin of Species by Charles Darwin.
Science.
Again, people would call it a controversial thing. In Britain, this is not a controversial thing. Creationism is
in the better informed society of the world, it is not a controversial thing, but that's okay.
I don't think it's better informed. I wouldn't say we're smart or anything like that. I think it's just because
accepting of natural law and science. What? Anyhow, continue.
Yeah, it's the way how religion's different in here than it is over in the US. It's not as public, I would say. However, anyway, so creationism is very rare. I've only met one person my entire life in the UK who is actually a creationist, and that should tell you. And I've been around all the countries in the US and in the UK pretty much, well, more or less. So I've met many people, hundreds and hundreds of people.
3 countries in the UK, and I've pretty much been to 2 of them.
Yeah, I think I might have been through Wales. I wasn't sure. I think I went through it on a train once. So that sounds like pretty much. So yeah, here it's considered a fact in the science community. I don't care where you try to cite otherwise. Evolution's a thing, and it's a fact. It's nothing to do with belief. You can believe what you want, but even if you can say God created evolution, I don't care.
Obviously.
Evolution's a fact.
Show X
Okay,
is about. We are scientific evolutionists here on Show X. Deal with it.
So that's a really interesting read. You can see, and you know what? Even if you don't believe in it, read it. I've read the Bible. I made a point of reading it because I thought it was an interesting thing to see another person's viewpoint. Read Origin of Species. It's a really interesting read anyway, even if you don't believe it. At least give it a chance, and then I can give you respect for that. It's a really interesting read. The guy is clearly a very smart man. He really loves his pigeons as well. So it's good.
Nice.
It's quite interesting to read through and see his viewpoints. And it's quite interesting from what you learn in high school, because you're like, oh, I can see the advances that have been made upon this and the theories since then. So while this is mostly right, it's more like it is actually a theory back then, like the general term of a theory. The guy's like, I think
when they're
this might be the
first
case.
coming up with it to say like, I wonder if this is how the world works.
Yeah, he's basically saying, I assume that if this happened in this environment, that it would be like this. And then you see, oh yeah, that's actually been proven as a fact now. That's quite interesting. This guy's really smart. This is it's really weird seeing that point in history where they weren't actually sure. And he actually says at one point, many people actually do believe that it was creationism, but clearly here, there, Galapagos
Based on
Islands,
these
everywhere.
experiments and things that we've
Yeah, he's
observed
saying,
in
well, clearly
nature,
it's not creationism.
I have a different opinion.
Yeah, and he says that these are the facts, and then the whole world changed because of that. So that's why. Anyway, so I really enjoyed reading that. It's been an interesting viewpoint, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Cosmos I'm looking forward to reading as well, because while I'm not too into astrology. Oh, geez.
Astronomy, sir? You mean the
Yes,
science,
it's definitely
not
astrology.
the art of space?
Yes, indeed. So I'm not a big fan of it. I've never had a kid looking into space with telescopes or anything, but I think it's something I could be
How
into.
couldn't
so
you
I think
be? Oh my God! Talk about when you start thinking about the worlds out there and all
it's
of
beautiful. I
the
think it's
potential,
amazing stuff.
but just all
I've
the
never been
potential
into
of the
it yet, and I want to be.
universe.
I know, and I want to
Gosh,
be. That's why I'm reading
there's
this.
so much out there. I mean, I don't, like you said, but when I have gone through telescopes and been able to look closer at celestial bodies, things so far away, that just talk about inspiration of just the things that could be. It's so amazing because, and as close as we can get into perspective of where we are in the overall universe, you know, for us to be so egocentrical and centralist of what we think humanity really is, those amazing shots, especially the stuff from like the Voyager spacecraft and stuff, looking back at Earth and showing like, here is the solar system. Earth is this little speck here, or could be if you
blue
could
dot,
see into it
yeah.
far enough here. And it gives you that little bit of sense of like, huh. Why do we
literally,
fight
less
each
than
other?
A speck of dust.
Yeah, why are we so pissant as human race? Why are we concentrating on the novel, or like the, not novel, but the little trivial BS that we do day to day, when we could, as an entire race and humanity, do better things? It's that kind of level of understanding.
I'm gonna make one snide comment, and you can take this.
Snide away, sir. Snide away.
Have you ever seen that one image of like it's zoomed into somebody's house, then it goes out to the state, then it's the country, then it's the planet, then it goes out to the solar system, there are our local cluster,
Wait.
and it keeps going out and out and out until it's.
Are you talking about
Earth because it's so
Are you
minute.
talking about Yakko's solar system from Animaniacs when he talks about,
No.
you know, it's a great big world and we're all really puny. We're just tiny little specks
Oh, that
about
is
the
also
size
dope,
of Mickey
yeah.
Rooney. Oh wait, no, not that one.
But you keep going out, you keep
I was
going out
so
until
about to
you see
start singing that.
even everything in our observable universe is probably tiny in the grand scale and nothing.
Yes.
As far as we can see with the human eye and possibly with telescopes, you see how small everything is and far apart it is, and you think, wow. And then there's a picture of Jesus saying, "Don't masturbate."
Just to put it into perspective, yes.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Anyway, sorry. I'm sorry, folks. I know you don't tune.
Continue on. We're just being ourselves today. It's funny because this is an episode where, as we were getting things started, trying to be good show hosts, we were putting our notes together. And Ken brings up, you know, I think we're probably going to need to like combine the dysfunctional deviations and geek cred section this week because I don't think we have much to talk about. We'll just focus on cleaning up some of the news. I was like, yeah, that's probably what we'll do unless we find something to talk about randomly. An hour and a half later into the show.
Yeah, Handel says in the IRC, yes, Ken, you're correct. Science exists whether you believe it or not. So I was saying, I don't care if you're Christian or not. Evolution's a fact. People say science doesn't have anything in religion because it's this. the thing is, they always use religion as a way to fill in the gaps. We look at how far science is basically our knowledge of understanding of our world and our universe. You know, that's all science is our knowledge. It's a collection of knowledge we've gathered over the centuries, and often God fills in those gaps. And I think that's always the worst argument, because that means God's an ever getting smaller being, because we're always expanding our knowledge, and I hate that argument. If you say God's inside us all,
look at it, though. Well, I do believe you could have.
Fine, but that's a stupid argument.
Well, I do believe there's things you could do that would allow it all to live together. That religion by itself is not a negative thing. It's not something that you have to disagree with wholeheartedly. I think the problem we run into is just a level of. A lot of people, when it comes to religion, are forcibly like. It's the old argument we make. The difference, one of the main differences between science and religion as definition is religion requires you to believe in something regardless of proof. The thing with science is it specifically tells you that you are able to believe in something until it is proven wrong or different, in which case you change and adapt your viewpoints. Where with religion, they tell you not to disprove it and to continue to believe things the way they are regardless of any other facts or things that throw on its face. And that's the problem I have with the way most religions are treated. If religions were able to be a little more practical and deal with the situations based on what we learn to help establish more information about the religion, then I think I'd be more willing to accept it, because that shows that people are allowed to think and discuss and actually challenge the beliefs that we have and go further, more depth
are like
with
that,
it.
And a lot of religious groups are like that, and good for them. That's fantastic. But the few that aren't, just less than the 1%, the 0.1% of people who are just ignorant and don't listen to people, it annoys the piss out of me. Like I said, I've read the Bible. Why can't you read the books that might say something against the Bible? You know, that's okay. You're allowed to have an opposing voice. Anyway, let's move off. Let's move off. See. My face has been going redder because I'm just like, oh,
because you're thinking about it like, how could they? That's funny. It's so bad. Thank you, Pause, for linking in the IRC a link to Yakko's Universe, the song I was starting to destroy.
Thank
you. So good. Damn, Animaniacs, come back. Continue, sir.
Okay, so away from that side of things, I've used my geek skills to make Kitten features love me more.
What?
Or I will.
Did you come up with a potion?
Close. So she doesn't know about this yet, so nobody mention it to her, but I know she never listens, so it's fine.
Yes, loved ones don't listen to our shows, just our friends from the interwebs.
Yeah, it's a good thing that she doesn't listen, because then she'll get bored and not understand all the geeky things we talk about. Opposites attract, you know? So I've used my geek skills to make Kitten love me more. So I was looking into ways of how I can be romantic from 4,000 miles away. Which is tough.
Wait. I saw something in the news about this recently. Did you get an iPad adapter for the fleshlight?
Great idea, but no, I've only got one iPad.
Well, but they have one. I don't know if you saw in the news lately, but somebody made an actual adapter for the iPad that you can put a fleshlight on so that you now can be intimate with your devices. And the way they do the commercials is so that you can help, stay in touch with your loved ones. And anyhow, total side note, don't look up the commercial, it's horrible. And funny.
That sounds it, but no, I looked at there's quite a lot of funny things actually. There's like pillows that work over Wi-Fi, and they like light up when the other person lies against the pillow. That sounds like the worst idea ever. I mean, it's gonna be like 5 a.m. here.
You could totally troll your partner.
And my pillow's gonna light up. I'm gonna have 1.5 hours left of sleep. I'm gonna have to get up because of a freaking light in my face. What?
Well, I can see you just take the pillow and you're like, mink, bink. You just keep hitting the pillow like over and over so it's flashing. Ooh, wouldn't that be awful?
Why? That's a waste. That's a waste of all
them
pipes on the internet.
What if you came home and the pillow was just flashing? What would that tell you about your spouse? What they're doing, or what some of those like? You come home and the pillow's like constantly lighting up, turning off, lighting up, turning off. Like, wait, what are you doing? You're obviously not sleeping in the bed.
I know. But it's kind of a spy thing, isn't it? Like, gonna make sure he's away in bed after we're done talking. I'll see it, because I don't like that. I don't like it. That's just weird to me. I don't see the point in the whole thing. So I've looked into stuff. I looked at many different ways. Some of them are like have dates, which we already do. We hang out like once every other week, and we have like a takeaway, and then we put on a film, and we hit play at the same time. And it's nice, We need to do things like that to stay in contact, not just be the generic talk each day of how's your day been, because then it feels very forced.
Yeah, it's that way you're doing things that are fun together still.
Yeah, you guys should do stuff together. You can't just do like a forced chat each time. So I have this one fantastic idea that I found online. It's a website that dedicates itself to collecting data and chat messages on whatever form you wish, whether it be email, WhatsApp, Facebook messages, and it links into those accounts and pulls the data for it.
Okay. Is
The
this
guys
run?
then-
Is this run by the NSA?
No.
Okay. Because I figure they have all that information, so it'd be a really easy way just for them to aggregate it for you.
True, but they don't do these kind of romantic things though. So then they get the you can either pay for the cheaper version or the more expensive, the paperback or hardback, and it makes a book out of all your messages.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I've made the thing is, we talk far too much over the years, and there's a limit of like 500 pages. We exceeded that, so
Oh, wow.
I made it go up to like 2013 or something. So it's pre-wedding stuff.
Okay.
It's fine. It's fine. It means in the future I can make it
Well,
better one.
but that's good though. That's like the whole relationship leading up to the wedding. So that's actually
That's
quite
what
brilliant.
I thought. So that cost like $50, plus
That's
$5
awesome.
for postage and packaging. So it's not too bad, you know. Like that's $60 for a book that we've eventually created, you know. And I did like a little abstract at the front. I put a picture of us
Aw.
on the cover and stuff. Lovely. She's gonna love it.
I
thought
can't
that
wait
was
to
the
hear her
best idea.
reaction to that. That's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
No, so not to detract from you being romantic, Ken, and using technology to do wonderful things to keep a relationship alive and well. I do want to throw shouts out to our friend Pause2142 in the IRC for being our non-official show IRC rep this day, as everything I've been talking about he's been finding links to share in the IRC, so he even threw one in there for the Fleshlight iPod
Do you
adapter
want
from
people to
Kotaku,
see what we're
so-
talking about? Bad enough to hear that.
I appreciate it, so I will throw that out there. That is hilarious. Thank you, Pause. I love having a show rep. We don't ask enough from the community to do that, but thank you. So, sir, that is actually quite brilliant. I give you a lot of credit for finding something that's that geeky and romantic at the same time. Awesome
Thank
that
you.
you can have a service collect so much of your data of the way you've communicated and provide it in a packaged format. That's pretty damn cool. All right. So I think it's my turn to fill in the last 15 minutes of the show with things I've been doing geeky. Nice thing is we've already discussed some of it with the sales. And I was going to talk about a little more things I had purchased, like Banish and stuff, where I was just like, damn it, sales, damn it. I don't want to do the math, because it's so bad. But I do, since I just talked about Pause, want to bring up one of the things I did this week is, I don't do it nearly enough, and I wish more people out there in the VTW community played with us, is that Pause El Campo and I got into another match of Call of Duty Black Ops 2, as we do on occasion, because it's still kind of our game. And in doing so, we had a new milestone for me, at least. I hadn't seen this happen before, but we jumped in, and I wish we'd recorded it, but because I honestly, Pause, I know you were saying he wasn't getting to you, but I think he was just a little bit. There was a guy that jumped on voice, and as soon as he saw Pause, just raged. Oh, you hacker! All you do is hack. No one can possibly have a kill-to-death ratio of 2.5 to 1. That's impossible. I've seen the math where, you know, forums have said if you have anything over than a 2, you have to be hacking kind of crap. What people don't realize is he just reset all his stats from when he had played before and was still learning. So he took that out, and so he's only had his stats on that, give him the ratio based on since he got good. So it's all good stats, because you can reset your account. And so that's what really keeps it up high, is now he plays at a 2.5. He didn't always play at a 2.5, and so he just got rid of all the fluff from back in the day. Anyhow,
He kills 2.5 people for every time he dies then.
yes, on average.
Okay,
But most of the games I've seen, there's examples we have where his KDR I've seen range anywhere from 3-1 up to as high as 10-0, which just gave him like a 10-1, because they always give you a 1 as your thing. But seeing him go with a KDR of 10 was sick. It's just insane. Pause is that good, and if you want to feel awesome, join the VTW clan on Call of Duty, as well as any other games to get your friends together. Wear our tag proud and let us know in the forums that you're doing it. We'll happily cover it here on the show. But in this one, he's got some, if you are friends with him on either on Steam, him and El Campo, or if you've seen it on the Show X page, because thank you, Pause, for posting things on Show X. It goes in there, and he shows a picture where not only do you get like El Campo having a picture that says "Pause, you bleeping hacker," but he also has one that Pause took a picture of that essentially he put in the comments saying, "I finally did it. I finally met my accomplishment. I need to stop playing the game now. I killed everyone." And what it has is the other team, we were doing so good as VT-Dub that they all left. Everyone just rage quit out of the server.
Oh, wow.
And so we were left with us on VTW and no one on the other team. At which point the game just said the other team will be forfeiting the game in however many seconds, because no one was
funny.
there. And it's funny because afterwards we're kind of thinking like, well, I guess we're done playing for today. Nobody will play against us. And
You're known now. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, no, he's more than known. But it's so much rage that we get on the community because when they get on voice, it's bad. The text stuff, you just kind of laugh at because it's instant. Oh, wall hacks. Oh, hacks. And it's like, do you not watch him play? Show me the wall hack. He shoots people that are in his crosshairs that he sees. Not someone hiding behind a wall that he can't see that automatically gets targeted. That's a wall hack, noob. Learn what to call your hacks before you accuse people of it, let alone. Anyhow, it's just silliness. But he got so many people pissed off. It was so quick. So there's pictures in there that you can check on either the ShowX page on the Facebook or even on the or like I said, if you look through the activity page, if you are friends with Pause2142 on Steam, you can see them there as well. Just pictures of us just destroying other teams. It makes me almost feel dirty, and I would feel really bad if I had any suspicion of Pause actually cheating. But when you play LAN party games with a person and they're right in front of you and you watch them play, you're like, huh, you're just really good. And when that person can come sit down at your rig and help you reset some of your settings and kind of how you do things, and you do better because of it, it's like, oh, so it's not just because I paid for some random piece of software that makes me, do better by changing how my inputs work. It's because I'm actually badass at a game that I put a lot of time in, almost like a job.
Good.
Go figure. So yeah, it's just silliness like that. Anyhow, but it's great representation from VTW. Apparently on FPSs, especially in Call of Duty, our clan is considered a hacker clan. But it's because Paz and Campo also are awesome. Anyhow, so I had to throw that shout out because that was so much fun. Other than that, I actually have to have a downer note. And that is that currently, as I look over the side of my table, my 3D printer is out of action.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Did you overheat it from using it constantly for like a month?
Well, I'm not entirely sure. Thankfully, I've bought parts. I bought parts that I was hoping to already mess with and kind of do some fix. But on the video, you'll see my the base extruder head that I got with the Robo 3D, and it's a decent piece. It's got this plastic surround and stuff. So there's some complaints that it's not necessarily the most robust or cleanly printing head. And so in doing so, I had already pre-purchased a replacement one for the hot end, which is the version 6 of the E3D hot end, which is this nice all metal hot end. And in it is supposed to do a much more consistent print. You can change out the front ends for the different size nozzles and things like that, and really have like a good flow and control of what you're printing. The problem is I'm down until I figure out how to take all this bundle of wires and make it plug into the printer, because what I'm trying to find, and it's amazing how difficult this is, the print head that I has here, it has both the thermistor, which keeps track of the heat of the printer, as well as the actual heating element that heats up the pipe in it that gets the whole thing hot, all connected through a nice Molex connector, right? A nice 4-pin little connector like you do with power, kind of separated. The problem is finding that connector. Like, the one thing is I can't take this one apart. I've tried little devices to try to pull the wires out. I can't figure out how to use this connector and make it fit with the one that's already in there. So I've been looking online for part numbers to find where the heck you get this plastic end so that I can then cut down the wires off this one I've purchased and make it essentially fit into the stock harness. And I can't do it. I've got this whole list of pages open that I think are the right connection, but I can't be sure because I can't go touch, feel, look at it directly, or try to plug it into my... it's such a nightmare. But I could just manually wire it all the way in. I just haven't. But regardless, it means I'm down on my 3D prints right now, and I was making so much progress to finishing up this model for a friend of mine so he could use it in one of the games he plays. So disappointed, as well as I also have an event where I'm going out to the water park on Tuesday to celebrate a friend's El Campo's daughter turning into a teenager. We're all going to the water park for that, and I was going to provide, since she's newly into the Legend of Zelda series, there's a model that I got that people made to build a working version of an ocarina that you can play. And so I was going to print one of those off for her as a gift, so that she's just getting into Zelda and kind of paint it up, make it look like the Ocarina of Time. But now I can't because my printer's dead. So much rage at that, but I guess the realities of being an early adapter to technology. Oh well. So hopefully...
But you can get in touch with the company. They might be able to help out. I mean,
I have talked to them.
Guys, so.
No, I've talked to them, and it sucks because the main thing that I was really trying to get advice from them was that my hotbed died. The actual bed that you print on, if it's heated up, it does a better job of letting the filament, the plastic material stick to it, so that you don't get it to cool too fast and it warps and becomes a bent piece of whatever, which causes bad prints and a lot of failed prints. And so I was trying to, I need to get that replaced or fixed or something, and I sent an email, and the guy told me, well, do these basic things, and I didn't, I guess, elaborate enough in the original email to the company where I was like, I've done all those things, I've been reading on the forums, I'm not a complete noob, I was trying to ask for generic help, and so I responded to that email like, yeah, did all that, here's the other things I've learned, still not working. Unfortunately, I haven't seen a response from that, so I'm a little concerned, because I think I only have like a 6-month warranty on this product. But then I turned around, and so I sent a new email basically with the same thing but with the additional information in it. So, and I'm waiting now for a response from the company again to say, how do I fix this hotbed, or do I have to add new hardware in it all myself? So printer is going to cost me a little more than original, but if I can keep printing, I'll be fine. We'll see.
Yeah, what I'd say is phone them. Emailing a company is always a bad idea. I avoid emails at all costs whenever I can.
Well, it's their contact us page. It's the contact us page for technical support. And like I said, the first response was pretty quick, so I always try that first because I like to have something as a reference that I can go back to read like what I'm supposed to do. It's the paper trail to kind of prove that I'm doing what I need to. That's what is my first goal. If I have to, I'll get more aggressive and talk to them more. But so far, I still think they're an awesome company. I just don't know how many employees they truly have. And so I'm giving them some credit, some time to look at it. And unfortunately, I think the problem may be that the board I have actually went bad, or that one of the fuses may have failed, which is unfortunate because I've got the upgraded version that has a better cooling, active cooling, that's supposed to help stop that. But I think it may have just failed, and unfortunately, I think to replace that, they'd have to give me an entirely new board. Now, granted, I think honestly that it should only cost them like $50, so we'll see. But I have to talk to them more, and hopefully I'll find more, because I'm feeling bad every moment that my 3D printer here is not printing, especially since I just got in another shipment of filament from Monoprice for like $100 worth of filament that I'm trying to print on, which also may be part of the problem, because the one the reason this one stopped working is it got clogged to a point where I could not heat it up enough to get anything out of it, and I don't know what to do. Unless I can heat up like a hot needle push through it, I don't know how I could continue to use this one. So I've disassembled a lot of my printer now to say, well, we'll see what I can do, but I don't know. I'm hoping the new hot end will work, and I'll get that. When I'm not like screwing around, I hopefully will take the time to finish that up, get it wired in, keep printing at least on a cold bed. We'll see. So that's going on. Other than that, I've also been focused on catching up on anime again. There's a few new ones I need to check out based on some great people that I've met in the community of cosplay and going to the conventions I have. That great thing is they're all geeks, so they post like what they've been watching. So some new ones I want to check out. But I've been trying to catch up on rewatching Cowboy Bebop, one of the best series. Oh no, not Cowboy Bebop. Why did I put that in there? That's an awesome anime too. No, that's an awesome anime. I know what I was doing. I was talking about it yesterday. The one I've been catching up on, and I always start to mix these up when I start talking about them, is Samurai Champloo. And Samurai Champloo is just this anime talking about basically this old, what is it? It's in olden days, although they do some kind of modern aspects to it. And it's really, really just a fun anime. But I'm doing it because I'm going to try to cosplay for my next convention as the lead character from it, Mugen. And so I'm watching to get the reference material and see what I'll have to do to actually build the costume. So I've been going through all that, and it's like, must do this, must. And so we shall see. All right, that is what I have been up to. I'm now trying to catch up in the IRC to see what everyone else has been talking to since I've been busy here. See more things that have been linked out, and I'm not sure what you linked there. Go ahead.
It was a video of the Kennedy cupcakes, the ladies saw doing the swing dancing today. There's a good video of them hanging out in Stirling, actually, my university town. So they're lovely girls, and they can really do some amazing dancing. So I'd check them out if you've got 2 seconds.
Gotcha. And also I go in their copy saying, what? Teenager, new to Zelda, what? So she's been playing these games since she was 3. Well, it's one of those, she's been playing games forever, but her father, I don't know if he'd finally gotten her a system that could play the games, or if she just finally showed interest in them. But it's her first time playing Zelda titles, and she started, I want to say, with Ocarina, so at least in a good place. And so we'll see how that comes up. I'll have to talk to her about it when we go to the water park. Other things in there, copies just going in there, Bad Games era, X-Bone era, all this crap. She's like, what about all my favorite old classics? And it says, Doc Dead, Brynhildr in the Darkness, which I don't know what that is. I'm assuming, is that an anime or something? Because I don't recognize that. It says it's super cute, and she wants me to find her a Champloo character. Trust me, I am trying. That's another reason I'm watching all the anime. So we'll see. Anyhow,
Silvern Hills are the name of the watcher on the Aram Bridge's pig.
I have no idea. Is that something
I was
that's
like, I
mentioned?
recognize that name. What from?
I do not know. Well, so it's funny, Ken. We went through the entire episode
I know.
and did not touch anything to do with news today. How bad are we?
No,
That's all right.
Bad.
That's
I was
all
asking
right.
if we can go over in the IRC, but it seems CH are going to be on straight afterwards, so...
Nope,
Ah,
that's
well.
all right. We need to do what we need to do here and pass things on. So would you please give everybody all the contacts and things they can participate in Show X?
Nah. Okay, I'll do it. Go along to twitter.com/VTWShowX or twitter.com/DocDead or /GoHex to find the show's page for when we go on live, for Doc Dead's page so that you can find out his ongoing stuffs, his anime stuffs, his 3D printing stuffs, all that stuffs. And check out /GoHex as well to check out my complaining about everything in the world. That's what I do. My narcissism as well. Also check us out by sending in emails to showx@vtwproductions.com. Tell us your geek cred, what you've been up to, any articles you find interesting, anything at all that you have any quarrels with us, tell us. We'd love to hear it and make fun of you on the show. And much else beside. Also, check out the forums. Go to vtwproductions.com, go to the forums at the top, and you'll find lots of interesting chat and banter going on there. And also, all the other shows on this station are good. We wouldn't have them here otherwise. Check those out too. Finally, VTW Gaming Night on in 1 minute's time in the VTW Ventrilo. Don't know how to get there? Go to the main website. There are instructions somewhere on there. Just have a bit of a look around. You'll find them. No problem.
Yep, Vince Free,
We'll be
get
playing-
in.
Indeed, we'll be playing a bunch of different games tonight. I think I'm going to be pushing towards League of Legends because I just picked up Brom and I'm going to be playing him. So with that, thank you for having me on the show, my man. I will see you in 7 days' time, no doubt.
Yes, we will be on again next week. And with that, you've been listening to Show X on VTWProductions.com. Prepare to listen to those great fun cats, the casuals on Casually Hardcore, on AlphaGeekRadio.com. We love those guys, so we like to pimp them out as well. And make sure you come back and listen to Tales of Relevant Thought an hour after the casuals go to bed. And with that, we'll catch you again next week.
Zombie. Kind